Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
In today's rapidly evolving energy landscape, compliance is more than just a checklist. It's the foundation of operational reliability, safety, and trust. And here in Indianapolis, we're honored to be at the heart of that mission. We collaborate with asset owners, operators, helping them stay ahead of NERC standards and grid demands. Our electrical engineering and compliance experts provide hands-on support tailored to your fleet. As expectations rise and regulations evolve, you deserve a partner who brings more than just expertise. You need commitment, clarity, and confidence.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
It's a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Hey Indiana, let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Week 2 Indiana High School football action here on IndianaSRN as Covenant Christian hosts Shortridge on Senior Night. Alongside Todd Sconce, I'm Nick Rodecap. So happy to have you with us on a beautiful late August evening in central Indiana. These are a pair of 1-0 teams. We say hello from inside our broadcast booth. And Todd, it's great to be with you on this evening. Shortridge coming off of a dominant win a week ago over Trinity Lutheran. Covenant had to work a little bit more, but they got it done on the road against Park Tudor. And now both of these teams looking to start the season 2-0.
Yeah, both teams, it's kind of rare air for them to start 2-0. It's been a while. Covenant's been since 2020, the state championship year. And then Shortridge 2023 started 2-0, but then finished 3-6. So both of them feel good about where they are now in their Week 1 performance, and both of them looking to move to 2-0 on the season.
And it is senior night for Covenant Christian, and it is a perfect night for it. Low 80s our temperature as we inch towards kickoff between Covenant and Shortridge. We'll drop into the mid-70s after sunset. The wind out of the northeast about 5 miles per hour. And the impact of this game, the importance of this game for both of these teams, we mentioned Shortridge had a dominant win over Trinity Lutheran last week, 49-6. Shortridge is in search of their first winning season since 2016, and it feels like if they start the campaign 2-0, they'll have a lot of positive momentum as we move into the month of September.
Well, in Shortridge, Coach Qualls is no stranger to winning. He won a state championship at Heritage Christian and with a spread offense, and he looks to have some weapons around him in the Shortridge team that can put up points on the board. As you alluded earlier, I believe they put up 49 last week and ran and passed the ball well. So I know he's excited about this group. They're young in some aspects, but they're very talented in the skill positions, and I know they'll want to have a reproduction of what they did last week, this week, versus Covenant, who also is 1-0.
And on the other side, you mentioned Covenant Christian. They won by 1 point last week. It was 15-14, their victory over Park Tudor. Covenant looking to start 2-0 for the first time since they won the state championship, went undefeated back in 2020. And something to keep an eye on, Covenant's defense allowed over 30 points per game last year, but they held Park Tudor to just 14. They scored a late touchdown to win it on the road, and they're looking to keep that defensive momentum rolling here on senior night.
Yeah, I think one of the big keys to Covenant holding Park Tudor
County LifeWise Academy. Every student becomes a story of hope that can reshape a generation. And also by the Wheeler Mission. Hope changes lives. Hope starts here. And we'll have an interview with Wheeler Mission at halftime, so stick around for that. Excited for kickoff in this one. We're out at Zionsville West Middle School. Mentioned it's Covenant's senior night. And we'll also take a moment to remind you that IndianaSRN is sponsored by Bertner Electric, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. Piper Logistics, we stand as your comprehensive logistics partner. Class 101, our mission is to empower students, serve families, and inspire greatness. IndyStar, working tirelessly to make the place you call home better. And we'll stay tuned for the IndyStar player of the game afterwards. Boilermaker 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. And the IndianaSRN sports page, sports from coast to coast and border to border. Kickoff just moments away here between Covenant Christian and Shortridge, and we take a look at the conference implications. Well, Shortridge is independent in football, so there are none on that front. Covenant still a couple weeks out from conference play beginning. They take on Heritage Christian on the road. That's on September 11th. And for head coach Luke Seifries, he went to the helm at Covenant right as they jumped from Class 1A to 2A, and it was not smooth sailing a year ago, but starting the season 1-0 and winning in such dramatic fashion against Park Tudor, they will look to make it 2-0 here this afternoon, will the Warriors. We will step aside for just a moment on IndianaSRN. Kickoff just moments away between Covenant Christian and Shortridge. Welcome back to Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN. Shortridge and Covenant Christian getting set to get underway. Covenant won 14-0 against Shortridge last year. This meeting, the second between these teams since 2019, and Covenant won that bout 52-0 alongside Todd Scotts. I'm Nick Rotacap with you. And Todd, you look at Covenant, and you mentioned something during the break about what their outlook is coming into week 2.
Yeah, I mean, I know coaches wants to build on the success they had last week. They ran the ball pretty effectively. I know they want to get better at the pass, but they're going to bring that along slowly. They look to go 2-0 on the year. Again, we referenced it's been a while since they've done that. Looking to build on that momentum after last week's win versus Park Tudor.
And something to keep an eye on, we did not see Luke Gillespie, Covenant's starting quarterback from a week ago, participating in warm-ups. Now, we, of course, have a very limited view of what that might entail, but we did see Weston Laughlin taking first-team reps with the offense. Laughlin, the 6'1", 185-pound senior. Gillespie, the sophomore, who got the start a week ago. It'll be interesting to see who Covenant starts in week 1, but you mentioned it before the broadcast. One of the keys to the game for Covenant is going to be, at some point, they're going to have to open up the passing game.
Yeah, I think they want to be a balanced attack, and I would say a key for them is to control the clock, not only passing but running both. So effectively be balanced, control the clock. When you're one-dimensional, it's a lot easier to defend that. And then, they have to stay out of third and long situations. And then the last thing is there's some very talented offensive players on Shortridge. They're going to have to be great open field tacklers.
And Covenant taking on Shortridge here. Kickoff just moments away. It'll be interesting to see if they start Weston Laughlin or they start the sophomore Luke Gillespie. Covenant only attempted 4 passes last week. It was Josiah Hawk who did the bulk of the work. He had 21 carries for 139 yards, the 6-foot junior, who's listed as a wide receiver, but he did a little bit of everything a week ago.
Yeah, he sure did, and I think they're going to have to bottle him up. Shortridge has obviously seen that tape now. Their keys to the game, obviously, they have to have a balanced attack as well. No turnovers and win the hidden yardage battle. I see Shortridge, special teams-wise, those hidden yardage of kickoffs, punt returns, kick returns, all of that, they're going to have to win that battle if they're going to beat Covenant tonight.
Shortridge won by 43 points last week. We'll find out what they have in store in week 2 on the other side of this break. You're watching Indiana High School football on IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
And we welcome you back to Zionsville West Middle School, Covenant Christian Senior Night, as they host Shortridge. Both of these teams 1-0 coming into action here tonight. Both of them searching for their first 2-0 start in quite some time. So happy to have you with us here on IndianaSRN alongside Todd Scotts. I'm Nick Rotacap. I want to take a moment to shout out our camera operator, Daniel Thacker, and our director, Chuck Levine, as well. It is a beautiful night for football in Zionsville. Low 80s at kickoff. It is gorgeous. And we got a good uniform matchup in store as well. Shortridge wearing the all-whites, Covenant wearing all green for this one. So it's going to be a good contrast of colors as we see the Covenant players coming toward midfield. The coin toss should be here in just a moment. He talked about Shortridge's balanced attack in week 1. Terrell Stallworth, their quarterback, the junior. He was 11 of 16 a week ago, 152 yards through the air. Shortridge really could do no wrong against Trinity Lutheran. Jakari and Josiah Elliott combined for over 150 rushing yards. Shortridge forced a number of turnovers, 4 interceptions, and a forced fumble. And Covenant going to have to take care of the ball, and you mentioned control the clock if they want to defend home turf here on senior night.
Yeah, both teams, are ready to take a step forward. You kind of got the nerves out of the way of week 1. Week 2, I think now that people have film on you, it's a different level, and so we're excited to see what they can both bring to the table here.
And we will step aside for the national anthem kickoff coming up on the other side.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN.
Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
And we welcome you back to Zionsville West Middle School. Covenant Christian getting set to take on Shortridge here on IndianaSRN. Both of these teams starting the season 1-0, looking to continue that positive momentum here in week number 2. The big storyline that we're keeping an eye on for Covenant Christian, well, there are a couple of them. Their starting quarterback from a week ago, Luke Gillespie, not seen with the first-teamers in warmups, so that's something that we will monitor. And also, Jace Seibert, one of the starting linebackers for Covenant, is in street clothes on the sidelines. So that is also something we will have to watch and monitor as the game goes along.
Yeah, you mentioned Jay Seibert. He led him tackles last year as a freshman, and then last week he led him in tackles again. So he's going to be tough to replace from the linebacker issue. He was a one-way player for the most part, so they'll have to replace him on defense if he can't go tonight. And then you mentioned as well the Luke Gillespie. It looked like he was not getting the reps in warm-ups. So we've got a couple things to monitor that'll maybe change what we see on the offensive side and the defensive side for Covenant.
Seibert had 9 tackles a week ago, including a tackle for loss. He also had a 20-yard kickoff return in Covenant's 15-14 win over Park Tudor. Coin toss is complete.
Covenant won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Shortridge looks like they'll get the ball to start. So we'll see their offense and Stallworth, the talented junior quarterback, right off the bat.
Terrell Stallworth, 6 feet, 180 pounds, threw for 152 yards last week, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Very efficient was Stallworth a week ago, and Shortridge's offense as a whole accounted for nearly 350 yards. Josiah and Jakari Elliott, their primary 2 running backs to keep an eye on as well. It's a very balanced attack, at least through 1 week. Obviously, it's early in the season. Sample sizes are small. But early returns suggest that Covenant is going to have their work cut out for them defensively, but they answered the call a week ago, and they look positioned to do so here once again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Covenant will do week 2. And again, I'm excited with this quarterback change. Maybe they open it up a little bit from what they did in the first week. We alluded that they passed 4 times, I believe. So we'll see if that changes with a new quarterback possibly.
And one of those passes, it was the 3rd pass attempt of the game. Luke Gillespie connected with Josiah Hawk on what was the game-winning touchdown. It was on 3rd and 11 from the 35-yard line. And Gillespie dropped it right into the breadbasket for Hawk, who finished the game with over 160 all-purpose yards. But with Weston Laughlin taking the first-team reps in warm-ups, he might be working with a new quarterback, Will Hawk, so it'll be interesting to see how those two work together. Laughlin, the elder statesman of the quarterback room, he's a senior. Gillespie is a sophomore. But we'll have to wait and see because Shortridge will get the ball first to start this one. Terrell Stallworth working with his offense. They will get out onto the field first, and this will be a very entertaining game, I think, especially because Shortridge put up nearly 50 points a week ago. And so Shortridge with good starting field position here as they will take over, it looks like, at the 45-yard line, and Stallworth leading the offense out onto the field. Receiver to the near side of your screen is Lawan Smilton. And Shortridge spreading the field here on 1st down and 10. Jakari Elliott, the sophomore, is to Stallworth's right as we get underway. And it's a keeper for Stallworth, running behind his blockers, and he picks up a few yards out to the 49-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like just a kind of a direct quarterback follow, if you will, right up the middle, and looked like he gained positive yards. Wasn't a crisp handoff fake, but he was able to gain positive yards on that 1st down carry.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Shortridge Blue Devils, looking to perhaps spoil Covenant's senior night here. I've seen a lot of teams having senior night early in the season, kind of just getting it out of the way and focusing on what's between the white lines.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of schools have fall break later, and that just wasn't attended well. So I think attended well now with still early in the season.
Stallworth brings Bryce Davis in motion, and the handoff goes that way, but Covenant has it played very well. And it's a tackle for loss for the Warriors, setting up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Covenant did a great job getting up field last week, I thought, against Park Tudor, and it looks like the same here to the short side of the field. They were able to kind of overload them and really make a tackle for loss as it's back to original line of scrimmage almost.
So we'll call it 3rd down and a really long 8 here for Shortridge. They had good starting field position after a really solid kickoff return. The question now is, can they do anything with it, or will Covenant's defense get off the field quickly on their first possession? Snap back to Stallworth, rolling to his right, and he's running out of options. The pass goes incomplete to the near side. He had all kinds of pressure in front of him.
Yeah, both defensive ends put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. You're going to hear Micah Dowdell's name and Reese Tincher, 33, right there putting on the pressure, as well as Micah Dowdell was right there on the pressure. So that'll bring up 4th down for Shortridge.
And Dowdell had a tackle for loss last week in Covenant's win over Park Tudor, making his mark early in this game as well. And Shortridge's opening drive spoiled by Covenant Christian, despite good starting field position. And now the Blue Devils, looks like they might want to talk this over before, all right, beg your pardon. The ball spotted back on the left hash. Last week it was Josiah Hawk back deep to return punts. We'll see who's back there this time around. Tate Turman is Shortridge's starting punter. And it's a low snap, handled well, and a line drive punt that rolls all the way into the arms of Liam Yarde, who's there to pick it up. He's out past the 40 and brought down at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, quality return there by Liam Yarde, who's a very good athlete for them, plays wide out corner. Very speedy, and showed his speed there on that run. As they're going to have good field position to start their first offensive possession.
And now the question has to be answered: who is going to be leading the offense for Covenant Christian? It looks like it's going to be Weston Laughlin. Luke Gillespie got the start a week ago, but Laughlin, the senior for Covenant, the 3-sport athlete, very talented pitcher for the Warriors on the diamond, also plays basketball, will take the reins here this afternoon.
Looks like we might have some technical difficulty with our feed, but it's catching up.
Okay. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
So now we're on 2nd down, and look like Covenant lost a yard there, or about 4 yards there, 3.5 yards.
Covenant going backwards on the first play of its first possession. Looks like it'll be 2nd down and about 13 here.
And it is Weston at quarterback still.
Josiah Hawk was the man to watch a week ago. He goes in motion into the backfield here. Toss goes his way. He cuts it upfield to the left and gets swarmed at about the 40-yard line. Jakari Elliott in there on the tackle, one of the two-way players for Shortridge, setting up 3rd and a mile for Covenant Christian.
Yeah, it was a great open field tackle. Looked like Hawk had some running room, and it closed quickly as the speedy Elliott was there for the almost no gain.
Elliott averaged 12.6 yards per carry on the offensive side of the ball and added 3 tackles in Shortridge's win over Trinity Lutheran a week ago. He's got 1 tackle already. Now 3rd and long and some movement up front. And looks like Covenant will get 5 free yards out of that.
It's going to be offsides on Shortridge, which will make this 3rd and 11 a little more manageable. Now you may have a run-pass option versus a 3rd and 11 was probably a passing situation. Now you've got to really look at both, and obviously Hawk is someone you want to keep an eye on as he caught a big pass last week for Covenant.
Carter Smith all the way at the top of your screen. Reese Tincher goes in motion. And the snap back to Laughlin, the throw to the right side, out of the reach of Reese Tincher. Could have been intercepted if there was a little more air under it, but both teams go 3 and out on their first possessions.
Yeah, Covenant just kind of settled in. Obviously a new quarterback this week. I'm sure they practice this for the most part this week. And little jitters there on that throw, but I'm sure he'll settle in as he is a senior. With Covenant ready to punt this away on their first possession.
Quinn Sefton handled punting duties a week ago. And this one's a good kick. It'll land fair caught inside the 25, and that's where Shortridge will take over possession number 2 as Bryce Davis handles it back there.
Yeah, it was a great punt with 0 return. Is exactly we talk about that hidden yardage. There was no return on that one. So Covenant looks to have a little better position for their defense to start this second drive for Shortridge.
And Terrell Stallworth, the Shortridge quarterback, back out there. We saw Jakari Elliott in the backfield. Haven't seen much of Josiah Elliott just yet, but he's in the backfield now. Lawan Smilton to the near side of your screen. Shortridge really spreading the field from sideline to sideline. And the handoff goes to Elliott, spinning forward. A nice gain on first down for Josiah Elliott. He had 10 carries for 73 yards a week ago, and he's off to a strong start here.
Yeah, you would think with Covenant really, Tincher and Dowdell really getting upfield. I would think Coach Qualls want to take advantage of that and try to run underneath them. And right there, they were successful on a positive run on first down.
Ron Qualls in his 2nd season at Shortridge. He's been around for a long time. His coaching career began at Peru High School all the way back in 1980.
Yeah, he's been successful for the most part wherever he's been and just a nice, classy guy.
2nd down and 8 for the Blue Devils, and another nice burst of speed for Josiah Elliott as he moves the sticks with a nice rush of 8 yards.
Yeah, he was able to get free and had a nice burst there through the line of scrimmage, and Covenant had to gang tackle him, or he was probably off to the races.
Shortridge dominant on the ground a week ago, 252 rush yards. They accumulated well over 150 rush yards a week ago as Jakari Elliott and Josiah Elliott combined for about 160. The ground game, the early focus for the Blue Devils here on drive number 2. And they go back to the ground. And Covenant does a good job of preventing Elliott from really getting to that second level. Josiah picks up about 4.
Covenant looks to be in a 4-3 defense with, to me, they're playing more of a zone coverage right now, which is probably pretty smart because you can keep your eye on the running back and zone and still help with the run, where in man-to-man you're going to be covering them and looking and turning and running. You wouldn't see the quarterback. And the way this quarterback can run, I would probably play zone as well.
Stallworth had 4 carries for 32 yards. The Shortridge signal caller has Jakari Elliott to his right on 2nd and 6. And the handoff goes to Jakari, slips the initial wave of tacklers, gets to the outside. He's across midfield inside the 45. Move the sticks for Shortridge. It's another fresh set of downs.
Yeah, it was great blocking on the left side over there on that big run by Elliott. And I think we're going to call his name a lot as you see him on just a lead block by number 6 there. And then 71, the big lineman for Shortridge leading the way as he's getting a big run.
Robin Williams, the sophomore left tackle, and Caden Moore, the senior wide receiver, leading the charge there for Shortridge. They're into plus territory are the Blue Devils. Ball at the plus 46 as Shortridge looks to open the scoring. About midway through the first quarter, in trouble on the exchange, a loose ball behind the line of scrimmage. And we'll see who comes out of the scrum with it, but right as Shortridge got across midfield, perhaps some negative momentum for the Blue Devils. We'll see if they fell back on it. It looks like they did.
Yeah, I believe they did. So we got one fumble, but they were able to recover that fumble to keep this drive alive.
And
could have
fortunately,
been catastrophe for them.
Out of all that, only a loss of 2. All things considered, that could have been a lot worse. After a hiccup like that, you've got to be able to flush that from your memory quickly and keep this drive rolling.
Yeah, you want to have a short-term memory. They've been running the ball fairly well off tackle, and we'll see if they continue to do so.
And the snap back to Stallworth. Takes to the air this time. Throws underneath. The catch is made. And that gets Shortridge past the original line of scrimmage as Caden Moore hauls it in, but still 3rd and long. This will be 3rd and about 8.
Caden Moore is a good player for him on both sides. I think we'll be calling his name a lot on offense and as well as defense from the strong safety position he plays on defense.
Moore had a touchdown rush a week ago to go along with a couple receptions for 18 yards. At the bottom of your screen, it's Smilton, the wide receiver. And the snap. Time for Stallworth. He's going to keep it himself. He's got a big hole straight up the middle. He's got the first down inside the 20, still making men miss, and he's finally dragged down. The ball comes out. I don't know if he was down by contact. Shortridge, though, keeps possession once again. A great scramble by Stallworth. He's inside the 15.
Yeah, he was looking to pass and then you'll see the wide open middle as he was able to scoot through and get upfield and almost take it to the house, as he was tackled right about the 15-yard line, and it looked like the ball did come out, but his knee might have been down.
And it looked like Chase Wilhelm may have been the first one to sort of stop Stallworth's momentum. As we've got an injured player down on the far side of the field, we will step aside for just a moment. Tied at 0, but Shortridge driving inside the red zone here on IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
And we welcome you back to Covenant Christian taking on Shortridge here on IndianaSRN. On the other side of an injury timeout, it was a very long scramble for Terrell Stallworth, the Shortridge quarterback. Dragged down from behind, but if not for that, he could have taken that all the way to the house.
You know, one of our keys to the game we talked about in the beginning is open field tackling for Covenant. And right now you can see why. I mean, you're going to have to swarm the ball, get 11 to the ball, and have great angles that your pursuit angles are. And right there showed why. Stallworth's a pretty good athlete.
And a year ago when these teams met, Shortridge was shut out. Covenant won 14-0. And so if Shortridge can just get on the board for the guys who played in that game a year ago, I'm sure that will be a nice hurdle to overcome. And, of course, they're going to look to add on to that.
Yeah, that'd be a good shot in the arm. As last week they showed that they can score points as the injured player has helped off the field. So we'll get ready to go. It'll be 1st and 10. It looks like, for Shortridge.
I thought that Stallworth got inside the 15, but the sticks are much further back than that.
Yeah, you wonder if there was a penalty at the end of that particular run after the big run by Stallworth.
The ball has been moved all the way back to the 40, so that would suggest a 15-yard penalty. Either that or they ruled that Stallworth fumbled and his knee was not down and Covenant recovered, because I think I see Weston Laughlin on the field for Covenant, and indeed.
Yeah, I think offense. Yeah, I think Shortridge is going to retain possession.
No, they did.
I think you're right. There was a 15-yard penalty. A dead ball, probably personal foul. I hate to guess, but it sounds like that was it.
And so after the extended stoppage, the handoff goes to Elliott running straight ahead.
And it looked like a different quarterback that handed off to him. It looked like number 2.
Looks like Caleb Smith is in there.
So the injured person, player could potentially be Stallworth, which would be crucial for Shortridge.
You saw him get dragged down from behind on that last play. And, man, to go from being inside the red zone to being backed up near midfield now. A very difficult swing for Shortridge, and we'll see how the Blue Devils handle this adversity. It is Caleb Smith into the game. These are his first snaps for Shortridge this season. He's a sophomore. Stallworth, the junior, out of the game. And the snap back to Smith and a pre-snap penalty for the Blue Devils as the laundry flies.
Yeah, the timing-wise, you got a new quarterback in there. The cadence is different. All week, I'm sure he didn't get as many snaps as Stallworth. So it's going to be a different cadence, and it's going to be not only different for Shortridge, but different for Covenant as well, as they were used to Stallworth here at the beginning of the game.
And that penalty went against Covenant, so it'll be 1st and 5. Shortridge inching closer to the red zone once again. Smith went to the sideline for a moment, and again, a new quarterback into the game, having to get into the rhythm of the offense. You'd suspect that Shortridge will probably stick with the ground game here, at least until Smith gets into a rhythm. And the handoff goes to Jakari Elliott. A big crease up the right side. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown Blue Devils, and Shortridge takes an early lead.
Yeah, I think we're pretty safe to say Elliott is going to be featured here the rest of this game. He looked very explosive on that play as he broke it off tackle, and it was great blocking by number 6. Is that Jaden Moore again?
That was Caden Moore, whose name that we called earlier.
Moore, yeah, I think he is an excellent blocker. He sprung that. And, again, Shortridge gets on the board first. 6-0, pending the extra point.
And we've seen Caden Moore now really helping set the edge on a couple of those long runs for Shortridge. The Blue Devils scoring first on the road against Covenant Christian. Tate Turman on for the extra point, looking to make it 7-0. With just under 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter, the snap is back, hold is down, and the kick splits the uprights. So Shortridge takes a 7-0 lead on Covenant Christian inside 4 minutes to go in the first quarter here on IndianaSRN.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just Wit HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
We welcome you back to Covenant Christian and Shortridge here on IndianaSRN, and a reminder that IndianaSRN is sponsored by Boilermaker 374, representing highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. 7-0 Shortridge over Covenant. The Blue Devils marching down the field and scoring on their second possession of the game after both teams went 3-and-out the first time around. We'll see if Covenant can respond in kind. We thought that we were going to see Luke Gillespie versus Terrell Stallworth in the quarterback battle, but Weston Laughlin getting the start for Covenant and Caleb Smith being inserted into the game for Shortridge. So a couple of backups now. At least that's what we've seen in the early going. You see at the bottom of your screen Luke Gillespie warming up on the sideline. We'll see if he comes out for drive number 2. The kickoff is a good one, fielded by Liam Yarde inside his 5-yard line, trying to reverse field all the way to the other side. And Shortridge does a good job of containing Yarde, as Covenant will be backed up inside the 25 to start drive number 2.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a return right on and they kick it left, sometimes it's better just to get upfield and get what you can than try to make that happen, as they had pinned him in the corner on that kickoff. So Covenant, obviously, we'll see what they do offensively to respond. It looks like Weston is still out there. Laughlin, the quarterback that's going to take the reins in this drive.
Covenant got behind the sticks early on its first drive and never really recovered. We'll see if Laughlin can establish a bit of a rhythm or if the Shortridge defense can make a statement. Motion man goes into the backfield, and the handoff goes straight ahead for Covenant. Not a whole lot doing on first down.
Yeah, it looked like that was a handoff to Tincher, 33, who's been kind of the fullback. And if you look defensively at Shortridge, they are crowding the line of scrimmage. It's almost a 6-man front, and they're playing man-to-man on the outside, just daring Weston Laughlin to throw it here.
And you wondered, with the fact that Covenant only attempted 4 passes a week ago against Park Tudor, you almost wonder if that was a point of emphasis for Shortridge defensively, saying, hey, we're going to make them beat us through the air, not on the ground. Yeah,
and I think that's what I would do too, as you see them, again, crowding the line of scrimmage. There's almost all of them up there.
Some misdirection in the backfield. Handoff goes to Josiah Hawk. He could have sprung that one for 20-plus, but he's brought down after a gain of about 6. And third down and medium here for Covenant.
Yeah, it looked like there was a hole there to the right side of the offense, and it closed quickly after a gain of 5.5 or so. So it does make up a manageable 3rd and 4 for the Covenant Warriors. Again, a run-pass option are both equally in play here.
And we saw on Covenant's first possession, it was 3rd and 11. Shortridge had a pre-snap penalty that made it 3rd and 6. Blue Devils were still able to get off the field. You want to avoid the same mental mistakes here. Laughlin goes under center. The toss. And it's Hawk once again. I don't think he got there.
No, I think he was stopped short. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and short for Covenant, as they'll probably punt this away deep in their own territory.
And I beg your pardon, it looks like they gave Covenant the first
down
did.
There.
It looked
sure
like
did.
Hawk was short, but maybe falling forward, extending his arms.
Well, great extra effort for him to get the 2 yards needed for that first down. So they're going to move the chains, and, again, that'll be the first, I believe, first down for Covenant Christian.
That feels like a big moment early in this game, because if Shortridge gets the ball back with a chance to go up 2 scores, it could be riding high on the offensive side. But instead, Covenant stays out there. And Laughlin in the shotgun. The receiver at the bottom of your screen is Carter Smith. As Aiden Briggs goes in motion to the left side of the line of scrimmage, Hawk motions into the backfield. Another handoff to him. He cuts it upfield, and that looked like it may have been a face mask by Shortridge as the Blue Devils tried to contain Hawk. I think Caden Moore got his hands a little bit too high.
Yeah, Caden Moore had the right opportunity and just didn't execute well. He was there early, just got it too high and got the face mask, didn't break down. And again, that's going to be another first down for Covenant, this one by penalty.
And Josiah Hawk just stuffed the stat sheet last week. He had 21 carries for 139 yards. He averaged 6.5 yards per carry against Park Tudor, and obviously Shortridge circling him as somebody they have to contain. And Moore got a little bit too handsy, and that's a free 15 yards for Covenant.
Yeah, Moore playing that strong safety role and is very talented. 6'1", 185 senior. Again, crowding the line of scrimmage, Shortridge.
Covenant trying to cross midfield for the first time today. And the handoff goes to Tincher running right, and he is brought down from behind after a gain of about 2.
Looked like kind of a veer concept as they handed it to the fullback with the tailback running almost an option route. There wasn't any threat of a quarterback run. It was a veer called all the way. So let's bring up 2nd down and 8 for Covenant.
And we'll remind you that today's broadcast is a copyrighted production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written consent of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. 2nd down and 8, Covenant Christian trying to get across midfield for the first time in this game. As the final minutes tick off here in this first quarter, another handoff to Josiah Hawk, and this time he's got space to go vertical inside the 35, brought down on the numbers at about the 30-yard line, the longest play from scrimmage for Covenant, and that came at the perfect time.
Sure did. It was like a counter play, and again, they found something. They have found something on that right side, is pulling big 54 across there, made a great block as he was able to spring that for a big first down by Josiah Hawk.
That's Alex Shake on the offensive line. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Covenant Christian looking to respond after Shortridge opened the scoring. And, well, if early returns are any indication, we've got a good one here on senior night for Covenant Christian. We will step aside. Shortridge leads 7-0 after 12 minutes.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
I'm Randy Stegemuller with Class 101. Students want to go to college, they want to find that dream school, and that's what we're here for.
The confidence your child feels is beyond what you imagine you're going to get out of it.
I love that I get to work with students from middle school all the way through high school.
Whatever it may be, I know she's there.
We're making sure that when the package is put together at the very end and we apply to a college, that they rise to the top of the list.
How can you not sign up?
It's the start of the second quarter between Shortridge and Covenant. Sportsmanship starts with you. Respect the officials, respect the game. And IndianaSRN is sponsored in part by KOA Indianapolis. Make your next trip a family adventure. KOA offers camping fun for all ages. KOA, where family memories begin. Covenant Christian, the offense settling into a rhythm behind the running of Josiah Hawk. He had 139 rushing yards last week, and he has gotten the bulk of the touches for the Warriors. This is the farthest they've been into Shortridge territory so far in this game.
Yeah, they've had 3 first downs in this game and 3 on this drive. So, and a lot of that by, as you mentioned, the aforementioned Josiah Hawk, who's last week had a great game, and he's picked right off where he left off, and so far looks pretty strong in this game.
Shortridge will have to find something to stop Josiah Hawk. Park Tudor was hard-pressed to find it a week ago. Weston Laughlin, the Covenant Christian quarterback, in the shotgun. Fresh set of downs, and Laughlin takes to the air, airs it out down the near sideline, looking for Hawk, but that ball is overthrown and out of bounds, and a late flag comes in as Lawan Smilton was the one in coverage on the outside. I don't know if that ball was catchable, but it might be pass interference anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to be anxious to see if this is offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference, because Hawk had his arm extended, kind of keeping the defender at bay, if you will. So we'll see if they call this offensive or defensive pass interference. And it's going to go against the offense for eligible man downfield, and then pass interference defense. So this is going to offset.
So we wipe the slate and do it again. And even if that ball was on target, I don't know. It didn't look like Hawk had a lot of separation there. Smilton doing a good job of staying with him in coverage. That's the first shot that Covenant Christian has tried to take down the field.
And I think it's something they need to do more often, just to keep them honest. And it looks like, they're playing a man-to-man coverage, and they're 10 yards off the ball as defensive backs. So there's plenty of room there underneath if they want to take advantage of that.
Tincher in motion to the left side. The toss goes that way, and it doesn't go very far. A tackle for loss for Jakari Elliott once again. He has been one to watch on both sides of the ball early in this game for Shortridge, doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, we've called his name a lot, and as we looked at the stat sheet last week, he was a stat stuffer. He did a little bit of everything on both sides of the ball, and again, he has shown in this game that he's someone that you better look for on both sides of the ball, as he was able to shot through there as a linebacker position and tackle for loss for T.J. Turner, the senior running back. Couldn't get the corner as Elliott was there waiting on him.
Is it second down or third down?
We've got a penalty at the end of that against Covenant, so that's going to back them up, and they're going the wrong way.
And it looked like this drive, Covenant really had some positive momentum, and they needed it because they had to answer that touchdown that Shortridge scored, but now they're well behind the chains as it looks like it's going to be first down and 20. And they're back towards midfield, and that's not what you want to see for them.
Yeah, they're not a prolific passing team, at least at this point in the season, especially with the new quarterback this week, who's his first start in the varsity level. So it'll be anxious to see what they do here on this 1st and 20.
Weston Laughlin, a very talented three-sport athlete. And another flag as the ball was snapped, and another penalty against Covenant. The false start will back them up 5 more. So you go from 1st down and 10 to 1st and 20, and now 1st and 25.
Yeah, I believe that's the 3rd penalty on Covenant, and we have, I believe, 1 on Shortridge so far.
And Shortridge is saying, hey, we'll take more of that.
Yeah, there's not too many 1st and 25 plays in your playbook. You want to just chip away at this, maybe get 5, 7 of it back at a time, and have yourself a manageable 3rd down when it comes to that point.
Just trying to at least get back to the original line of scrimmage, which you can barely see in your picture. It's all the way up at the 30. Tincher goes in motion right to left, a little misdirection, and the dump-off pass goes to Turner, and he doesn't get much. Maybe a couple of yards before he's brought down on the sideline. Shortridge's defense is fired up.
And guess who that was on the tackle? I am sure you could guess.
Jakari Elliott once again.
It sure was. He was right there. They did not fool him on the little misdirection dump pass to Turner out of the backfield. He was there waiting on it. Again, he has peeled off and saw him, and no gain after the catch.
And that was a big hit by Elliott.
Sure was.
You can tell he's playing with a lot of energy, and it seems like his confidence is only continuing to build.
And that'll be contagious to his team. Like I said, nothing gets you fired up like a defensive hit like that.
Tincher in motion once again. Laughlin back to pass, rolling left, pressure coming, and he throws over the middle. It's incomplete. He was looking for Tincher. Caden Moore in coverage. You talked about how talented he is at the safety position, and he makes another play right there.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for him, maybe even to pick the ball, and he was definitely not going to let Covenant catch it, as it's going to bring up 3rd and 22 for Covenant, and they're kind of in no man's land, so you almost want to think, hey, let's get 10 of this back or so and go for it on 4th down.
And at the very least, if you don't get it on 4th down, you want to come away from this drive with something positive, but starting so far behind the sticks after those penalties really has taken the momentum away. And some misdirection. The handoff goes to Hawk running right, trying to turn the corner, and he's brought down from behind. That should be a horse collar tackle. And another ill-timed penalty for Shortridge. It's happened now a couple of times.
Yeah, it sure has. And again, they had him bottled up. It was going to be 4th and long. And that's been the most successful play for Covenant, is that counter play with Hawk coming back to the right side, as it's going to bring up a big penalty again for Shortridge. It's going to be their 2nd of the ball game.
And so Covenant gets some of that yardage back. And you talk about how you don't really have many plays drawn up for when there's 15, 20, 25 yards to pick up. But that penalty is an automatic 1st down for Covenant. And that is exactly what the Warriors needed to keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be their 4th 1st down, 2 by penalty, I believe, on this current drive that they're on.
You know, that's something Shortridge's coaching staff will have to focus on at halftime, is giving Covenant extra chances to keep these drives alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think they want to obviously put 7 on the board here and tie this game up before halftime.
About halfway through the 2nd quarter, Shortridge scored on a long touchdown rush in the late stages of the 1st period.
Looks like we got a timeout by Shortridge here. Talk it over a little bit.
And so while Shortridge talks things over, we'll step aside as the Blue Devils lead Covenant 7-0 here in the 2nd quarter.
Fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
9 minutes left until halftime between Shortridge and Covenant Christian. Shortridge took a timeout. We stepped aside, and we'll see what the Blue Devils have talked about in that quick huddle. And their defense could have gotten off the field. It was 3rd and 22. A horse collar tackle made it 1st and 10. Covenant's looking to pay it off now.
Yeah, Covenant, hopefully, I'm sure they're talking this over. We got to take advantage of this opportunity after they were going backwards there for a while. Now they've got an opportunity still with 9 minutes to go to tie this ball game up before halftime.
Josiah Hawk has been the workhorse in the early going for Covenant. He's number 16, going in motion into the backfield, and the toss goes his direction, running left, trying to follow his blockers. He's brought down from behind, but still a very nice gain on first down for Josiah Hawk.
I think that's exactly what they want to do on every first down, is get that manageable 6-7 yard carry and set up that second down and 3, 4. That's a much more manageable opportunity for Covenant to keep the chains moving, as it is 2nd and 4.
Looked like it was Levi Gullidge, the senior offensive lineman, who was the lead blocker there for Covenant. And this has been a really drawn-out possession for the Warriors. After those penalties, it looked like it was dead in the water, but they're inside the red zone.
Yeah, they hopefully need to cash in on that as they are shuffling their line of scrimmage here.
Carter Smith, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Tincher in the backfield. Hawk motions back there once again. Tincher's the lead blocker. The toss goes to Hawk. He's trying to flip the field to the right side. Gets inside the 10 before he's upended around the 6. And we'll have 1st and goal for Covenant as they look to even the score.
Very patient run by Hawk, as he was kind of just patient and waited on his blocks. And when he had an opportunity, get a burst in there. And again, it'll bring up 1st and goal for Covenant, as the clock's still running here with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left.
And you see a lot of hands on hips. I mean, I'm sure this possession for Covenant has to really wear on Shortridge defensively.
Yeah, and I think there is a few players that do go both ways for Shortridge, so I'm assuming that'll be a benefit of Covenant later on in the 4th and 3rd quarter as we get along this game.
Laughlin goes under center. Turner motions into the backfield. Another counter play, and it fooled pretty much everybody. Touchdown, Covenant. Once again, it's Josiah Hawk. And Covenant is an extra point away from tying this game.
Yeah, that was just that counter play that we've talked about, and it did fool everybody on the Shortridge side. And he walked into the end zone, I believe, untouched.
This is one of those situations for Covenant where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Josiah Hawk has been the star of the show through the first 2 weeks. Great job there by Covenant of selling it as well, and Hawk could have walked into the end zone, as you mentioned.
Yeah, great fake by Tincher up the middle. And, again, it fooled everybody as several Shortridge players were running to that fullback dive.
Liam Yarde on for the extra point. He made his only attempt a week ago. Covenant went for 2 and took the lead on Park Tudor in the 4th quarter. Yarde looking to be 2 for 2 on the season, and he is. So we are tied at 7.
Out of Laughlin's hold. The quarterback is holding.
Laughlin doing a little bit of everything. We are tied at 7. 7:44 to go until halftime. We got a good one here on IndianaSRN.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
I'm Randy Stegemuller with Class 101. Students want to go to college, they want to find that dream school, and that's what we're here for.
The confidence your child feels is beyond what you imagine you're going to get out of it.
I love that I get to work with students from middle school all the way through high school. Whatever it may be, I know she's there.
We're making sure that when the package is put together at the very end and we apply to a college, that they rise to the top of the list.
How can you not sign up?
Welcome back to Indiana High School Football and IndianaSRN, sponsored in part by Wheeler Mission, providing food, shelter, and hope to neighbors in need while helping transform lives throughout central Indiana. One of the other games you can watch here on IndianaSRN, Heritage Christian and Indian Creek, and it's all Indian Creek right now, 21-7. Indian Creek over Heritage Christian in the 2nd quarter. Here, we are tied at 7 with about 7:44 to go until halftime. Covenant Christian senior night, Shortridge coming in. It's the Blue Devils' first road game of the season, and they look to answer after the touchdown rush for Josiah Hawk. And Shortridge will return this kick, and it's a good return. Out past the 35 are the Blue Devils. Kyrie Robinson McAllister on the return has the Blue Devils set up with good field position.
Yeah, Robinson McAllister, I believe he had some quality runs last week for Shortridge, and he showed his burst there of speed as they're going to have really good field position on this possession for the Blue Devils.
Terrell Stallworth, the Shortridge starting quarterback, left the game in the first quarter. Caleb Smith took his place, the sophomore walking back out there to lead the offense on its third drive. And Stallworth really had the offense rolling. Smith took the reins as Shortridge went run heavy and paid off that second drive with a touchdown. And we'll see what Shortridge has in store, starting this drive from their own 40. Covenant bringing a bit of pressure, handoff running right, and Shortridge will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Great job by Covenant there, winning at the line of scrimmage and bringing him down to the backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be a tackle for loss, and it's going to set up a 2nd down and 12 for Shortridge. And again, I don't know how much passing that Smith has been able to do in the week preparation for this game, but right now it looks to be a run-heavy Shortridge team.
Josiah Elliott in the backfield. We mentioned Jakari Elliott, the other first-team running back that we've seen for Shortridge. He was playing on the defensive side of the ball, and Shortridge's defense was out there for a long time on that last series as Covenant punched it in for 6. So we might see a heavy dose of Josiah Elliott on this possession. Handoff goes his way once again, and once again Covenant is all over him.
Yeah, Gavin Weikart, the big nose tackle there, 6'3", 300-pound junior, was all over that play. And he made some plays last week, again, against Park Tudor. And, again, for a 300-pound lineman, he's pretty quick on his feet.
Weikart had a tackle for loss against Park Tudor a week ago, and he has one here against Shortridge, setting up 3rd down and 14. And that good starting field position that Shortridge had might be going by the wayside here. Of course, you don't have to get all of it back. You'd like to get about half. That way 4th down is a little bit more manageable if indeed Shortridge decides to go for it. Empty set for the Blue Devils. A designed rollout for Smith. Pressure coming. Has to get rid of it. It pops up into the air and mercifully falls incomplete. Caden Moore was the closest to it, but Covenant doing a good job getting pressure on the Shortridge quarterback.
Yeah, Bukowski was right there, number 21, the 5'9", 185-pound junior linebacker. Really was there to put on the pressure, as well as Tincher and Dowdell was right there as well. So Covenant really putting on the pressure. Again, when it's 3rd and long, and you can pin your ears back and go after them, and that's exactly what they did. Looks like Shortridge is going to punt this one away and play field position.
And so Shortridge trying to flip the field. The Blue Devils had the momentum early in this one, but Covenant now perhaps seeing things go their way a little bit.
Returner will be looking into the sun a little bit here for this return.
And another low snap. It's a bowling ball and nearly blocked. Shortridge doing a good job just to get that one away. It takes a favorable bounce for the Blue Devils and dies at the 36-yard line.
So Covenant will take over at the 36, and we'll see again if Josiah Hawk and company can put points before halftime here. I believe they have all their timeouts left.
Shortridge used one defensively on their last series. I don't think Covenant has called one yet.
Yeah, I don't have them calling one yet either. So they'll have 3 timeouts to work with 5 minutes and change left here before halftime.
And if their last touchdown drive was any indication, Covenant very easily could take this all the way to halftime with how much time they bled off the clock on their last drive. TJ Turner in the backfield to the right of Laughlin. And Tincher also back there. Hawk goes in motion. Shocker, he gets another carry. Can he turn the corner this time? He shuffles his way to the 45 and brings the tacklers with him to the 46. Josiah Hawk cannot be stopped right now.
Yeah, it was a great run right there. If we see the replay, it was an unbalanced line. The tackle came back over to the short side of the field, and it was just a long handoff off tackle, and Hawk was able to turn the corner and get upfield for about a 9-yard gain. So 2nd down and 1 coming up for Covenant Christian.
Josiah Hawk accounted for both of Covenant's touchdowns against Park Tudor. One was a touchdown catch, the other a touchdown run. And he had the touchdown rush to even us up at 7 here this evening. See what else he has in store. Turner goes in motion, another counter play. Again, it goes to Hawk, and this time he picks up about 3 before he's brought down after a relatively short game, but still, you'll take 3 yards on first down.
Yeah, I think that was something that Covenant just wants to move the chains and keep the clock going. And, again, those are like body blows taking their toll on this Shortridge defense. They've been on the field quite a bit this second quarter.
Daquan Edmonds in there on the stop, the Shortridge defensive lineman, one of the seniors on this team for the Blue Devils. It's got to be so frustrating for Shortridge defensively when you know where the ball is likely to go and you're still having trouble stopping it.
Yeah, they've been using multiple formations, but the same person's been getting the ball. That's number 16, Josiah Hawk.
And the ball goes to him for the third time in 3 plays. He turns the corner on the left side and rumbles forward to the 45. And more positive yardage for Shortridge, for Covenant, setting up third and manageable as Shortridge looks to get the defense off the field.
Yeah, it was a good run right there off the left side. And, again, Josiah Hawk he almost gets stronger as the game goes on. You can tell he's breaking some tackles that he wasn't breaking earlier. So I think those body blows are taking their toll on the Shortridge defense. And, again, I think Covenant is okay just to keep it on the ground.
You don't really know for Shortridge if any relief is in sight because Hawk carried the ball 21 times a week ago. He could definitely keep this up in the second half. 2 yards to the sticks here for Covenant. And this time it's a straight handoff to Reese Tincher, and he picks up the first down, brought down at the 42-yard line. And Tincher, a nice gain, moved the chains for Covenant as we are inside 3 minutes until halftime, tied at 7.
I think it's a good 1-2 punch with Tincher and Hawk. Again, it's a change of pace. Tincher a little more the fullback type, and Hawk, the tailback, got a little bit of wiggle to him. So, it's going to bring up another first down as they're starting to add up the first downs now. I have them with about 7 first downs in this first half. So, and all by penalty and on the ground.
And there were a couple key penalties on Covenant's last drive. At one point for Covenant, it was first down and 25, and Covenant ended up walking away from that drive with 6 points. So you can do the math there. And another handoff running straight ahead as Tincher gets to the second level and rumbles forward just shy of the 25. Covenant's ground game is working wonders right now.
Yeah, I think, Shortridge is trying to maybe stop the off-tackle play, and they forgot about the quick dive as the linebacker had stepped up and got blocked by number 54 for Covenant, sealed the linebacker, and it was Tincher almost took it to the house.
And Covenant moving the ball at will, content to run the clock as well. They've still got all 3 timeouts, do the Warriors. And this drive started with just under 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Now nearly 90 seconds left. Rolling right, firing deep is Laughlin, looking toward the end zone. The catch is made inside the 5. Shaking his man is Levi Holtzneck, and Covenant has the lead for the first time today.
They'd kind of lulled them to sleep, with the running, and then obviously Laughlin gets his first touchdown pass of this season. Again, just kind of a fake, and then he rolled out and had a guy open on the left side as well as Holtzneck down the right side. Good play on the ball and was able to make the play and get in the end zone for the touchdown as they take the lead here before halftime.
Holtzneck using all 6'1" of his frame to haul that one in. And it's been timely passing plays for Covenant through the first 2 games of this season as Liam Yarde is on for the extra point, and he knocks it through.
He remains perfect on the season still, which is impressive. Again, he does a little bit of everything for them as well.
And so Covenant has a 14-7 lead, under 3 minutes left until halftime here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
And we welcome you back to Covenant Christian taking on Shortridge here on IndianaSRN. Check out the IndianaSRN sports page. Stay connected to the games, teams, and stories that matter most by visiting the IndianaSRN sports page. And if you were just glancing at that sports page, say about 20 minutes of real time ago, Shortridge would have been up 7-0. But Covenant has scored 14 unanswered points. And the touchdown pass from Weston Laughlin to Levi Holtzneck has given the Warriors the lead. We'll see if Shortridge can answer. 2:31 left until halftime, so that drive for Covenant took about 4 minutes off the clock. And we'll see if Shortridge can set themselves up with good field position. They had a good return last time, but it's not to be this time around. Excellent job by the Covenant kick coverage team, and Shortridge is backed up a little bit now.
Yeah, it was great open field tackling. That was one of the things we talked about that Covenant was going to have to be good at against Shortridge, is that open field tackling. And right there was a prime example of a great open field tackle by Covenant to really back up the Shortridge defense inside the 25-yard line on this possession.
Carter Smith, the senior wide receiver, the one who made the tackle on the return right there. And so Shortridge starts this drive from its own 22-yard line, maybe the 23, or maybe somewhere in the middle.
They moved the ball. The referees moved the ball. They got it spotted well now, and 1st and 10, Shortridge.
And with 2:22 to go and 2 timeouts, we'll see what Shortridge can do. Running to the near side and not getting much is Shortridge on that play. Bryce Davis on the rush, but he was brought down either near or behind the line of scrimmage. And once again, great run defense by Covenant Christian.
Yeah, they were able to string that out, and it was a long outside handoff. And Covenant did a great job of not only stringing it out, but they also did a really good job of playing the gaps. So there was no cutback lane whatsoever. So great job defensively and great job swarming the football by Covenant Christian.
We talked about off the top how Covenant's defense allowed over 30 points per game last year. It was Luke Seifried's first year as head coach, but in year 2, early returns suggest that Covenant's defense has taken a pretty good step forward as they have really buckled down here on Shortridge. And we'll see if the Blue Devils can get anything going. It's just not to be right now. Covenant is having their way at the line of scrimmage. Carson Montague on the tackle there.
Yeah, tackle for loss, and it's going to set up a really long 3rd down for Shortridge. Again, with their backup quarterback playing, as again, Montague did a great job of sifting through the offensive line and throwing running back for a loss.
You talked about it earlier. This is kind of a snowball effect where the more positive plays happen for Covenant Christian, the more they kind of build upon it, and the confidence continues to grow. And for lack of a better term, I guess the vibes just keep getting higher on that Covenant sideline.
Yeah, I think they're starting to play off each other a little bit. I think their offense is complementing their defense, and so it's been a good second quarter for Covenant to really start getting the momentum on their side.
And Shortridge content to not use timeouts. I think they're just trying to take this one into the locker room, and now they do use a timeout. Play clock winding down. And so with just under 40 seconds to go until halftime, Shortridge will talk things over. This drive has gone backwards so far.
Yeah, and we talked about early as the kickoff, Covenant declined the toss and will get the ball to start the second half. So almost back-to-back, they're going to have opportunities to score, as it looks like with only 30 seconds left. Obviously, anything can happen. But I would assume you're right. Shortridge is probably looking to get to halftime down just 14-7.
And this is a scenario where if Shortridge cannot get anything on this drive, you could see Covenant put up potentially 21 unanswered points, and that could be a very, very difficult thing for Shortridge to overcome in the second half.
Yeah, and anything can happen, too, on special teams. And if I'm the Covenant, I look to get to them to 4th down and come after this punt, because you still have, I believe, 3 timeouts left. So if you can maybe block a punt and have an opportunity, you got an opportunity to go up 21-7 even before halftime.
IndianaSRN's coverage of Indiana high school football sponsored by The Grill. The Grill believes every family deserves first-class service. Enjoy a meal served with care, comfort, and a smile. Located in McCordsville, give them a call at 317-336-4700. You talk about Covenant potentially going for the punt block. We've seen them get through the Shortridge protectors a couple of times already, and they really got through and almost blocked the last punt that Shortridge had.
Yeah, and if I'm Shortridge, I run the ball here. But again, with those 3 timeouts, you're going to be able to stop the clock and force them to punt.
Covenant certainly will burn one of those, and we've seen Weston Laughlin air it out. That touchdown pass to Levi Holtzneck is how Covenant took the lead. So Shortridge will have that in the back of their mind defensively as well. Indeed, the Blue Devils do run the ball. You expect Covenant to burn a timeout here, and indeed the Warriors do. So they'll have about 25 seconds to work with, depending on exactly when that timeout was called, but definitely an opportunity for Covenant to get something to add on going into the locker room.
Yeah, I think that's smart coaching to really force the hand. I would too. I'd come after this 4th down opportunity and bring in the house. I wouldn't even return it. I would just say, hey, wherever it lands is where it lands, and we're going to come after it and hopefully get a piece of it and go into halftime up either 21 or 17-7.
In Shortridge, it feels like this is another situation where they might know what's coming and still have a hard time stopping it. We've seen that on the offensive side of the ball with Josiah Hawk running the ball. He's gotten a good chunk of the touches, and it feels like everybody knows what's coming, but he's been so fantastic, and the blocking has been so good for Covenant that they've been able to really do whatever they want. In our halftime interview with Wheeler Mission coming up shortly after what will likely be a punt or perhaps something more. Here on 4th and 15, we've seen Covenant be very aggressive in these punting situations, sending the house, trying to get a punt block, and with Shortridge in the shadow of its own end zone, you would expect the same thing here.
And you look at Pumphrey, the defensive end here, his height, he's got great height. I can see him being an opportunist maybe to get an opportunity to block this punt. And I'm sure they're going to be going after it.
Sam Pumphrey, number 99, you see him in the center of your screen, 6'4", 180 pounds, and he's only a sophomore. And it's been a while since I was in high school, but I'm not 6'4" now, so that's a scary sight for Shortridge coming up here as they are about to break their huddle. Second-year head coach Ron Qualls at the helm for Shortridge. Said in an interview a year ago, he wants to build on what's already there for Shortridge, and his mission for the Blue Devils is to serve the players that he works with every day, both on and off the field.
And Shortridge is going to go ahead and burn another timeout, as I'm sure they're really talking this over and trying to get a tight punt call.
And so while Shortridge continues their discussion, we'll step aside. Covenant leads 14-7, 32 seconds left until halftime. After back-to-back timeouts, one called by Covenant Christian, the other by Shortridge. 4th and 15 here for Shortridge. We mentioned Sam Pumphrey, the defensive end for Covenant, number 99 in green on the edge. Covenant has been very aggressive in punt block situations twice in this first half, and you expect to make it 3 out of 3. You see the Warriors crowding the line of scrimmage, and Shortridge having to get it away, and they do. So the clock winds under 30 seconds. It's a very short kick. Josiah Hawk was back there, but instead, Caden Frothingham just falls on it at about the 45.
It's going to leave 25 seconds, and I believe they have 2 timeouts to work with, so plenty of time here for Covenant if they want to work the sideline or something over the middle and get a timeout.
Weston Laughlin already has a touchdown pass today. We've seen Josiah Hawk break off some big runs, one of which found pay dirt. Reese Tincher has also had his mark on this game in the second quarter. Didn't see him a lot with the ball in the first quarter, but he is fantastic both with the ball in his hands and helping out his teammates on the offensive side.
Yeah, he's averaging close 6-7 yards a carry, so exciting for him, obviously, to get the ball in his hands. And, again, it's a good opportunity for a rest for Josiah Hawk, who does have the bulk of the carries here.
And a momentary pause. Looked like the far side official.
Got some equipment issues for Shortridge as they've got that underway now, and we're ready to get back to action.
Talk about Reese Tincher, 33 in green. He's at the top of your screen. Josiah Hawk, number 16 for Covenant. I believe he's in the slot on the near side. And Covenant using plenty of pre-snap motion. None here. Weston Laughlin back to pass. Pressure in his face, and he is sacked. And the ball comes out once again, but they say he was down by contact. And we'll see if Covenant burns a timeout or if they take this into the locker room. And looking at head coach Luke Seifries, it looks like Covenant is going to head into the locker room. So all things considered, Shortridge doing a great job of bringing Weston Laughlin down in the backfield and preventing Covenant from adding on to its 14-7 lead. So we will step aside halfway through this one. It's senior night for Covenant. They lead Shortridge 14-7. We've got an interview with Wheeler Mission coming up on the other side of this break. You're watching IndianaSRN.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really serve a lot of people year round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open. And so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. Donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so we're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space, and so we have bed capacities. For sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, and which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to to really open your eyes to the community's needs and to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler Mission. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner. Come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, exactly. For Indiana SRN, this is Keith Myers.
Halftime between Covenant Christian and Shortridge, 14-7 in favor of the home team here on Indiana SRN, and we could not bring you this coverage of Indiana high school sports without our sponsors. Wheeler Mission, one of those great sponsors. I'm Nick Rodecap, alongside Dennis Tolles, the head of community engagement at Wheeler Mission. And Dennis, I guess with Wheeler Mission, you guys do a lot of great work around our area. Tell us what's going on with Wheeler Mission right now.
Well, first off, I wanted to thank all of you that's here at SRN, because this is our 5th year with you guys, and we love what you bring to the table. Hundreds of high school and college games that allow us to, as we've been in our 5th year of sponsorship, be able to be out there in the community, and not only with these kids that are playing, but also their parents, people of influence that really can help Wheeler Mission do the job that it does. Wheeler Mission is the oldest and largest homeless services organization in Indiana. We've been around 133 years, and we have generally 800 to 900 people every single evening, men, women, and children, at one of our shelters. We cannot do that without the support of the community. We operate without any government funding, so every meal that is given, every coat that is given, every time anybody does any service at all for our guests, it is because of the input and the engagement that businesses and churches and schools and individuals allow us to be able to do our job. So once again, we are so thrilled to be able to be here and support you guys in what you were doing and how much you guys support us, because it's not just about me being here on this broadcast, but you guys do some other media things for us to help us promote some of our events that we have. We're right in the middle of a busy event season. We've already had a golf fundraiser. We just a couple of weeks ago had a great pickleball tournament up at the Pickler in Noblesville. We are just a couple weeks away from a CrossFit tournament at Park Tudor High School. And then our big event is Thanksgiving Day, our Drumstick Dash, which will be our 24th year that we have that, where we have 16,000 people running and walking in Broad Ripple. And with every one of those events, all those proceeds go right back to helping our guests in the programs. And one thing also, Nick, that one thing we've realized here at Wheeler, that because we've been around so long, people are familiar with our name, so we have a really great brand awareness. But there's a lot of times people take us so much for granted. We don't really have the brand knowledge, so we are really doing a kind of escalating our media and our outreach to even the people who have supported us for a long time, to let us know, look, we're not just a large food pantry type thing. We actually are more than that. We do meet our guests' basic needs. That's the least we could do. But from there, we try to move them into transformative programs and jobs and job training, budgeting, just social skills, all kinds of different things like that, to help them get back on their feet, more than just having a meal in front of them, but actually beginning to piece their life back together after having spent and experiencing the homelessness that they have. So we, again, SRN has been an incredible partner with us for these 5 years, and we hope to continue that for as long as we can.
And if people around Indiana want to help support what you guys do, it's a great cause. How can they How can they help Wheeler Mission?
Well, we are really, certainly, because it takes money to have and to feed and to house and to clothe and to care for 800 people a night. Certainly, we need people who will donate money. People that come to these fundraisers and support these fundraisers, not only as participants, but also as people that just come and say, hey, I want to help raise some money for that. So those are certainly easy ways to do it. But we have so many, because we have 5 different locations that serve 3 meals a day. So there are meal service opportunities that come in to prep meals, to serve the meals, to clean up after meals. So we have many meal service opportunities. But we also have people come in and just, our guests want to just feel like they're normal, that they're not some odd duck sitting out there. And so we have people come in and just do game nights, ice cream Sunday nights, doing all kinds of things, and certainly even a lot of mentoring things that we need, because one of the things that happens to the people that are experiencing homelessness, they get isolated. They don't have a sense of community. So when we have people come in, they don't have to be a PhD in theology or sociology to be able to make a difference in somebody's life. And so that's what we ask people to do, to just come in and make a difference in somebody's life, because they're surrounded by their circumstances, which tell them, you know what, you don't matter. And if we bring people in and just say, no, let us tell you a different story. You matter. I'm coming in here for you. And every guest that we have, that is somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's sister, somebody's brother, somebody's son, and somebody's daughter. So it's very, very personal. It's not just a number. So
that is Dennis Tools, the head of community engagement at Wheeler Mission, one of our partners here at IndianaSRN, without whom we cannot bring you coverage of Indiana high school sports. Dennis, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being able to be on here several times.
And we will be back with the second half of Covenant Christian and Shortridge here in just a moment.
Brian Chrisman joins me today. And Brian, talk a little bit about the winter and Wheeler Mission and how important it is for people to help Wheeler Mission, because winter means homeless and homeless means people in the cold. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we really serve a lot of people year round, no matter what the weather is, right? And so we serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people who are experiencing homelessness every single night. But when winter hits, that can become life or death. So if you're stuck out in the cold, happens every year. IMPD will find people out in the cold and encourage them to come in. But if they don't catch them in time, I mean, again, life and death. And so it's vital that our doors are open. And so we do that. Our staff shows up every day to make sure our doors are open. We serve 1,000 meals a day plus every single day. That's a nice, warm, nutritious meal. Donors provide that. Donors provide our food, coffee, something hot to drink. Donors provide that. So there's a lot of opportunities to get involved at Wheeler to make sure we can get through winter, or to work at Wheeler. We need staff, and so we're always looking for staff to get us through the winter time. We spread ourselves thin during winter, making sure that anybody can find space, and so we have bed capacities. For sure, but we go beyond that every winter to make sure that the city has an option for people who are experiencing homelessness in the dead of winter.
Schools out there that are watching this program with our reach, maybe they want to do a sock drive, or they want to do a sweatshirt drive. They can contact our office at IndianaSRN, or they can contact you. Where's a contact, or who would be a contact that maybe we want to do a sock drive? I think that would be a great idea for SRN to start one of those sock drives. How would that? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you go to wheelermission.org, we have our needs lists that are right there on our website. Those change sometimes in the winter, but there are some needs that are pretty much continual when it comes to hygiene items, when it comes to warm items to get us through the winter. So when you're talking about coats, especially bigger sizes for people that come through, we want to make sure a lot of people that come to our mission, they come with the clothes on their back, right? And so we need to make sure they have something to wear during their stay with us, which could be for a few weeks, could be for a couple months. And so go to our website, wheelermission.org. You can donate directly there, whether it's a financial donation or you can look at our needs list. You can even find drop-off locations. You can drop it off at some of the barns that we have around the city, or come right down to Wheeler Mission, drop it off right there. But we need this community's support. So greatest thing about Indianapolis is it is a generous community.
Yes.
It is a community that steps up when there's a need. And there's 1,700 homeless individuals in our community. That number has risen 5% just over the last year. Wheeler Mission is the main place for those individuals to go, has been since 1893, over 130 years. And so support that ministry so that those doors can be open, making sure that every man, woman, and child that needs to come inside can come inside and not only get warm, but get nutritious meals, food, shelter, and care. And so beyond that, we take them through a whole journey of program to make sure that they come out our back door different people. But the first things first, right? Get them fed and get them warm and get them safe.
Since it's basketball season and we cover over 300 games a year on IndianaSRN, we challenge our basketball teams and our basketball programs to get involved. There are meals that need to be served. Tell our teams out there how they can help and serve meals.
Yeah, no better way to really open your eyes to the community's needs than to stand in front of people who are desperately in need and hand them a meal, hand them what they're asking for that day. So great group opportunity is to volunteer at Wheeler Mission. You can go to wheelervolunteer.org. You can sign up a group. It can take an hour and a half to come down and serve a lunch. You can get 12, 15 people involved in that, a dinner. Come down either at our men's shelter or our women's shelter. It's a really cool experience for teams, not only to help in a way that you're making a difference, but to see the people that you're helping, right? To hand a meal to someone and smile and say hi to someone literally in their darkest moment, right? So
best assist they can ever make.
Oh yeah,
is to serve a meal.
That's a good point. It's a slam dunk.
It's a slam dunk, exactly. For IndianaSRN, this is Keith Myers.
Welcome back to high school football here on IndianaSRN. A reminder that today's broadcast is a copyrighted production of IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Any use of audio or video without the express written consent of IndianaSRN and the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. And right here on IndianaSRN, you can find every game, every highlight, every week. Stream it live on IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Some other scores to catch you up on. Games you can watch here on IndianaSRN. Brebeuf leading Mount Vernon 28-7. Bishop Chatard leading Leo 14-0. Also of note, Carmel ahead of Westfield 7-0. Number 1 ranked Brownsburg leading Rabun Gap 7-0. Rabun Gap, a powerhouse out of the state of Georgia. Danville leads Cascade 21-7. Avon and Ben Davis knotted at 0. And Indian Creek leading Heritage Christian 21-7. Here, Covenant leads Shortridge 14-7 as we get set for the start of the third quarter. And Todd Sconce, it's been a tale of kind of two halves in the first half, if you will. Shortridge had the momentum early, led 7-0. Covenant has scored 14 unanswered points, and the Warriors will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought Covenant did a good job moving from week 1 to week 2 is taking better care of the football. There were some turnovers in that first game against Park Tudor, and they've cleaned some of that up. Again, they've got a different quarterback, and but the same tailback's doing what he's doing. Josiah Hawk is still the man as far as moving the chains for Covenant. And as far as Shortridge, obviously it was a quick sample size of the quarterback for Shortridge, Terrell Stallworth, who got injured in the game early on and didn't get to see much of him. So they're going to rally around their backup quarterback here the second half. And, again, now he knows what he's doing. He's going to get a good probably talking to and strategy-wise what they can do offensively for Shortridge, as Covenant will get the opening second-half kickoff as they deferred the first half.
You talked about the jitters that both of these teams probably got out of their systems in week 1. For Caleb Smith, Shortridge's backup quarterback, he didn't play at all in week 1. It was Terrell Stallworth who did a phenomenal job leading the offense, but Smith having to get those jitters out in the first half of game number 2. And for him and for Shortridge, the fortunate thing is they're only down by 1 score. The bad news, though, is that Covenant has had all the momentum, and I don't know how big of a believer you are in momentum, but it definitely feels it feels like this game is more lopsided than 14-7 right now.
Yeah, it does, and I think the one thing that we can take away is Covenant put that long drive together, obviously aided a little bit by penalty, but they were still able to get some first downs by rushing the football. And, again, they had the big touchdown pass to Holtznick that put them ahead and lead now 14-7. So they've sprinkled in the pass a little bit, but they are still a strong running game led by Tincher and Hawk. And, again, one person that we've not seen really catch the football is Liam Yarde, the talented wide receiver junior for Covenant. I look for them to find him and let him do some things after he catches it, maybe a short pass. And again, that would help spread things out a little bit and take some pressure off of the running game.
And you talked about that as one of your keys to the game for Covenant if they were to be successful and have their first 2-0 start since they went undefeated and won the 1A state title in 2020, was having to open up the passing game, because last week it was pretty much all on the ground for Covenant. They only attempted 4 passes. They had 163 rush yards, though, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's been a similar blueprint here in week number 2. Shortridge will kick off to Covenant to start this second half. Mentioned that Covenant won the toss and deferred. So Shortridge's defense will have another test coming up here momentarily. 14-7 Covenant over Shortridge, our score. 24 minutes of regulation left to decide this one. And we'll see what it has in store. If the first half was any indication, it should be pretty good. This is Covenant's senior night. And the seniors looking to go home happy here tonight. This kick bounces in front of Liam Yarde. He brings it out from just shy of the 10-yard line, gets up to the 20 and tries to turn the corner. But he is brought down at about the 21-yard line, and that is where Covenant will take over for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, good open field tackle by Shortridge as he had reversed field and came to the home sideline, if you will. And again, decent field position, though, starting at the 25.
And Weston Laughlin, who went into this season as the backup quarterback, ran the offense in the first half, but Luke Gillespie just jogged onto the field. He was Covenant's starting quarterback in week 1. So perhaps a halftime quarterback change for Covenant.
Yeah, it looks like Gillespie's going to get the start here in the second half.
And so Gillespie goes under center on 1st and 10. The motion man is Reese Tincher, the fullback. And the toss goes to Turner running left, and he picks up a nice gain of about 5 yards before he is tackled. Another positive play on first down for Covenant.
Yeah, they are winning the first down battle, at least from the second quarter on. And again, that's something that Shortridge has got to get off the field. This defense in the first half has spent a lot of snaps out there. And again, it's not an overly hot night, but again, you're not in football Friday night shape quite yet. So again, last week they scored 49 points, and again, that was a different field than this game is a tight ball game.
49-6, Shortridge over Trinity Lutheran a week ago. Covenant winning 15-14 over Park Tudor. And on second down, some misdirection for Covenant as the handoff went to Tincher, but Shortridge was wise to it. Covenant going backwards, and now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, it looks like they lost a couple yards there. It's going to bring 3rd and 7 for Covenant. Again, you would think 3rd and 7, this is still kind of a run or pass option. Again, they've been run heavy for the most part. And again, with Gillespie, you mentioned he threw 4 passes last week, completing one of them for a touchdown.
That was just his 3rd pass attempt of the game. It was a 35-yard completion to Josiah Hawk. And the following 2-point conversion put Covenant ahead for good. And we'll see if Covenant goes to the air. They do not. It's a handoff to Hawk. He tries to flip it upfield, but he can't do so. And it looks like Shortridge will get the defense off the field, forcing a 3-and-out, and that is big for the Blue Devils defense.
Yeah, I think that's what they had to go in at halftime and say, hey, we've got to get off the field. We can't have these drives where they're getting 5 and 6 first downs. And, put us in a very difficult spot and wear down the defense, especially with a backup quarterback in and offensively now for Shortridge.
Quinn Sefton did the punting last week for Covenant. Don't know whether that's him out there or not right now. It doesn't look like it. In any case, it's a high snap, but a good punt by Covenant. Fair catch called for and made at the 35-yard line. So good field position for Shortridge as the Blue Devils get their first crack at it here in the second half.
You almost wonder if Shortridge will do some maybe wildcat stuff with Elliott and direct snap things to maybe spice up the offense, maybe give them a jolt. I think, as you're looking, they like to throw the ball. They like to spread people out. And it looks like the backup quarterback is maybe not quite as experienced as the former quarterback. So maybe we'll see what kind of plan they have right off the bat here.
Caleb Smith, the backup, a sophomore, being thrust into action as Terrell Stallworth, the junior, exited the game in the first quarter with an injury.
And again, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go Wildcat. I did predict this.
And so it's Jakari Elliott who handles the snap, picks it up off his shoe tops, and rumbles forward as a flag flies. He picks up a couple, but we'll check the penalty.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a hold possibly on Shortridge. They couldn't contain Big 77. Gavin Weichart, the 6'3", 300-pound, had gotten through the backfield, and he had to get held.
Weichart had a tackle for loss in the first half of this game, and making an impact on the first play that he sees in the second half. So we'll back it up 5 for Shortridge. And the Wildcat formation really kind of limiting, I think, what Shortridge can do offensively. Seeing Stallworth go down with that injury, you saw him rip off that big run right before he did.
Yeah, so it looked like, again, they're just trying to get it in the playmaker's hands as quick as possible.
And so first down and 20 for Shortridge. This drive not starting as the Blue Devils would have hoped. See if Covenant can take advantage of that defensively. Covenant Christian doing a good job winning at the point of attack in the first half. Once again, Shortridge goes Wildcat. And it's a designed run to the right and not a whole lot doing there for Shortridge. Maybe a yard, but that's it.
Yeah, Weichart and company plugged up the hole really well on that designed quarterback run. And it's going to bring up a second down and long for Shortridge.
Gavin Weichart, 6'1", 315 pounds. In the middle of that Covenant Christian defensive line, wears number 77. And he's having himself a good first couple of weeks. And now it looks like Caleb Smith, the quarterback, is back in there. The tailback is Josiah Elliott on Smith's right hip. Covenant spreading the field here on second and long. Almost forced to take to the air. And a throw to the near side. It's picked off by Liam Yardy. Green grass in front of him, and number 2 has a pick 6.
We just alluded to Liam Yardy and talked about him getting the ball. He just got it on the other side. Instead, offensively, he made a play defensively.
Liam Yardy, the talented two-way player. On the offense, he's a wide receiver. He used the hands right there. The ball perhaps a little bit overthrown, but it almost looked like he took it right out of the hands of Caden Moore. And from there, he waltzed into the end zone, and Covenant now has a 2-score lead.
Yeah, he did a great job. He was playing zone. You could tell he just dropped in the zone and looked up at the first defender he could see and then was able to jump the route and take it the distance. So big-time play by a big-time player at a big-time moment in this game.
And now Yarde looks to pay it off with his own extra point, and he is 3 for 3 on the night, 4 for 4 on the season on PATs. 21-7 Covenant after Yarde's pick 6. You're watching IndianaSRN.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw.
Boy, what a stick, huh?
Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
21-7 317 Covenant here on Indiana SRN. Coverage presented in part by the Morales Group, connecting people with purpose and helping build better futures one story at a time. Indiana SRN reaches thousands of sports fans with live coverage of high school sports and college sports. Partner with us and connect your business to passionate local communities. It was a pick six for Covenant's Liam Yarde, the sophomore wide receiver and defensive back, putting Covenant up 2 scores for the first time today. Sam Pumphrey getting set to kick off for Covenant, and it seems like now Covenant has a chance to really put the foot on the gas and maybe put this game out of reach. Kick fielded at the 12-yard line by Shortridge, cutting it to the outside up to about the 30 before the tackle is made by Reese Tincher, who just continues to have a phenomenal start to his senior season. And that is where Shortridge will take over, and Shortridge has to certainly get points on this drive, it feels like.
They've got an answer to that. Obviously, it was a mistake that Covenant took advantage of, and Shortridge has got to put that behind them and see what they can do on this drive. You just feel the momentum is totally shifted and is on the Covenant side right now.
21 unanswered points for Covenant Christian. And Shortridge playing, as we mentioned, with backup quarterback Caleb Smith running the offense. We've seen a dose of the Wildcat formation. And as Jakari Elliott walks into the backfield, one of the Shortridge running backs, we will see, I think, more of that Wildcat formation here. We saw some trouble with the first Wildcat snap of this second half for Shortridge. Jakari Elliott handles this one, running right, leaping forward, and he gets to the second level, still on his feet, past the 40. What a run by Jakari Elliott, as Shortridge is near midfield already.
Yeah, that's going to bring up the third, I believe, first down for them. Again, great run by Elliott as he was spinning and churning and was not stopping his feet, as initially it looked like he was going to be stopped for a short gain, but he was not going to be brought down. A lot of heart right there. Pretty impressive run.
Jakari Elliott, the sophomore, standing at 5'10", 205 pounds. That was a really athletic run by him.
Looked like Jerome Bettis. They're breaking through the line and like hard to tackle.
7.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Shortridge trying to answer after a pick six by Covenant's Liam Yarde. Another Wildcat snap. Here's Jakari Elliott once again. This time he's tripped up just past the 45.
Big tackle right there because it looked like he had a lane to cut back in. Again, great tackle and swarm by Covenant's defense, who's done a really pretty good job open field tackling for the most part in this game.
Levi Holtzneck in there on the stop. A gain of 2 or 3 for Shortridge. But again, after that run by Jakari Elliott, kick-started the drive. Shortridge has some positive momentum for what feels like the first time in a while. And Shortridge sticking with the Wildcat formation here. Expect Covenant to crowd the box. They've done a good job of containing the run for the most part. And here's a handoff running straight ahead and past midfield. Looks like that might have been Caden Moore, the wide receiver on the carry. And indeed it was. So this sets up third down and short now for Shortridge.
Manageable third down possibility here for Shortridge is they've been behind the chains a little bit since their quarterback has went out. So an opportunity to move the chains here and maybe do something positive here on this drive here in the second half.
And it certainly feels like this is a situation where Shortridge has 2 downs to get 3 yards.
Yeah, and I'm assuming they'll keep it on the ground here with Elliott, who's been a productive runner so far, and break tackles and opportunity here for them to move the chains.
Halfway through this third quarter, Shortridge needs to find some points. Here's the handoff, the run straight ahead for Jakari Elliott, and he got maybe a yard, and a late flag flies in from the secondary. And we'll see who this goes against. It'll be crucial no matter what. As the officials talk things over, it'll either be a first down for Shortridge, and it looks like the penalty goes against Shortridge. We'll see. I'd assume Covenant's going to accept this. You don't want 4th and 1.
Yeah, it looked like almost a late hit there towards the end of the pile at the end of the run, and they're going to mark it off. Still discussing here.
As the deliberations continue, it was a very late flag. The play was basically over when the flag came in from the secondary on the left side of your screen. It might be either an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or unnecessary roughness, which would be the late hit that you alluded to, Todd. And now you see Shortridge backing up. And again, it would be another ill-timed penalty for Shortridge. Unfortunately, that has kind of been the Blue Devils' undoing in this game.
Yeah, they've shot themselves in the foot a few times as they were getting positive gains by Elliott with the run. And again, that was going to set up a 4th and short possibly, and it's now going to be a very long 3rd, and I'll call 14.
3rd down and a country mile after what was 3rd down and about 2, maybe 3. And Shortridge really kind of feels like their backs are against the wall now. The center, Charlie Goodwin, turning around, checking some things, and it's another Wildcat snap. Covenant swarming the ball carrier that time.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 4th down. He didn't get enough, but I think that's the offense that we're going to see from Shortridge here, as Pumphrey on the tackle from his defensive end spot did a good job of not letting him get free in the secondary.
And given that Covenant has scored 21 unanswered points, and it feels like it doesn't really seem like Shortridge has a choice. Or actually, they are going to punt this away, and that was what I was kind of thinking, because you don't want to give Covenant a short field with a chance to go up 3 scores.
Not with the way they run the ball, for sure.
They've been moving the ball at will, especially since really the start of the 2nd quarter, it feels like. Covenant thought there was some movement up front, a low snap, and that punt is blocked. And now it's pinballing, and Covenant has excellent field position. We talked about how much pressure they would bring in a punting situation, and that time the pressure gets through. But a late flag, perhaps for excessive celebration.
Yeah, it looked like Dowdell had picked up the ball and had a chance to actually run it in for a touchdown. He was able just to fall on it. And then he threw the ball at the end of this, which obviously excited. Good punt block, but you've got to keep your composure, and it's going to put them back 15 after the great block from Covenant.
It looked like Dowdell almost two-hand spiked the ball into the ground, and I don't think referees are going to let that fly any day of the week.
No, they're not. And again, I didn't quite see who blocked it. It was a low snap, and he was trying to get the ball off, and they've been close on a couple punts, and then they were able to get this one.
But the 15-yard excessive celebration, the unsportsmanlike penalty, kind of takes the aura out of the moment, if you will.
It does, and they're still going to have great field position on this possession here,
so
which is really the first offensive possession for the second half, as the first touchdown in the 3rd quarter was a defensive touchdown.
Liam Yarde had a pick 6. We were talking about when he might get involved in this game, and right on cue, he took one back to the house. Covenant leading by 2 scores for the first time today, but as we mentioned, they've scored 21 unanswered points. Their defense has held strong, allowed 32 points per game a year ago. Covenant was outscored by 15 points per game last year, but the defense has taken a step forward in year 2 under Luke Seifries. It was Shortridge a year ago that Covenant beat to give Seifries his first win as head coach of Covenant Christian. And now back out there is Laughlin, who was the starting quarterback when this game began, and the toss goes to Josiah Hawk. Stop me if you've heard that one before. Another positive gain on 1st down for Hawk, who continues to keep the legs churning.
Yeah, another 1st down and another big run by Hawk off tackle. Kind of that power pitch. It's kind of, I think, their signature play offensively. And a great block by 24, Tucker.
TJ Turner in there.
Turner. TJ Turner had an awesome block and really sprang that run there on the end line of scrimmage. So big block by TJ Turner, the junior running back slot.
And it is Gillespie out there. Luke Gillespie, who was the starting quarterback a week ago. He did not start this game, but he's running the offense once again here on Covenant's next drive, as the toss goes to Josiah Hawk, and he is blown up as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. An excellent tackle by Josiah Elliott there.
Yeah, Elliott was able to sift through the line of scrimmage and make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. And a big hit by Elliott as he was able to get underneath the block. And again, big hit on Josiah Hawk.
That feels like the biggest hit we've seen by either defense in this game.
Yeah, I think, and again, it couldn't have happened. Probably one of the better players defensively and one of the better players offensively. They got to meet, and they just thought, hey, we're going to agree to disagree, and we'll see each other again later on.
And I believe it is third down and about half a yard here for Covenant. We thought maybe Hawk picked up a first down on that carry earlier, but it looks like it's third down and about half a yard, and now it looks like Tincher is set to take the snap, and he does, and then he runs it straight ahead, and he's got the first down, tackled around the 25-yard line. So a little bit of trickery there for Covenant. We've seen them use some misdirection and a direct snap that time to Tincher. Covenant moves the chains.
You know, and that's one of those plays as a coach you want to get on film, because now the next opponent has to prepare for that play, and they're going to have to take time out of their practice to prepare for that play that they've ran one time in this game.
It's been a lot of that for Covenant, keeping defenses honest. Shortridge was selling out to the run earlier. Covenant took a shot downfield. Weston Laughlin connected with Levi Holtzneck on a touchdown pass earlier in this game. So now Shortridge has that in the back of their mind. Here's another toss to Hawk, running right this time. He's got great blocking, and he's inside the red zone. Josiah Hawk, it feels like he's averaging north of 7 yards a carry at least in this game.
He does a great job of keeping his legs moving and getting his shoulders turned north and south. If you watch the replay here, he does a good job staying patient, staying in that power alley, and then bursting when he gets the open field. And again, he's pretty tough to tackle in the open field. He's not a blazer by no means, but he's got just enough speed and just enough power to break tackles.
He's got the vision, too, it feels like, to let the play develop in front of him.
And he's got some deceptive speed. I think he's more quick than fast.
Under center is Gillespie. As we're inside a minute 30 to go in this third quarter, and a flag before the snap. Some movement. Covenant thinks it's against Shortridge. And indeed it is. So 5 free yards for Covenant.
Brings up the 5th penalty for Shortridge. Again, that's something they cannot have, is giving up free plays and short fields, making it easier on Covenant when they're already down 21-7.
Now Covenant really could push this game further out of reach if it can find the end zone for a 4th time. Some more misdirection. Everybody fooled. The ball went right. TJ Turner's got a touchdown. And Covenant does go up by 3 scores. Extra point pending. It's 27-7.
Great run by Turner as he was just waiting there. Again, nobody home on the backside for Shortridge, as you'll see here in a minute on this replay. Again, fake to Josiah Hawk and an end around, if you will, by Turner, who walked into the end zone. The closest person to him was the referee.
TJ Turner had just 6 yards on 5 rushes last week. That carry eclipses his entire total from Covenant's win over Park Tudor. It's his first rushing touchdown of the season. And the extra point from Yarde is blocked by Shortridge, and it is no good. That is Yarde's first missed extra point of the season, but Covenant leads by 20. It's 27-7 Covenant Christian over Shortridge here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
27-7 Covenant over Shortridge in the late stages of the third quarter. Follow IndianaSRN to stay connected with high school sports all season long in the state of Indiana. Follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN and IndianaSRN on YouTube as well. Follow us for live webcasts, game updates, highlights, scores, and stories celebrating Indiana student athletes and communities. Want IndianaSRN to cover your next game? Email coach@indianasrn.org. IndianaSRN, your home for Indiana high school sports. Covenant Christian getting set to kick off after a touchdown rush for TJ Turner. The extra point blocked, but Covenant leading by 20 with just under 13 minutes of game time remaining. And this kickoff sails over the head of the Shortridge returner, Kyrie Robinson McAllister. And they'll say that he picked that one up, the ball may have touched in the end zone. Either way, it's a touchback. And so Shortridge, really, it feels like now their backs, if they weren't against the wall before, Shortridge, it's kind of do or die time now for the Blue Devils. And a scoreboard update around the state of Indiana. Westfield leading Carmel 21-14. Carmel led that game 7-0 at one point. Indian Creek is pouring it on Heritage Christian right now. It is 42-7. Avon leads Ben Davis 7-6. And Chittard leading Leo 28-0. You can watch that game right here on IndianaSRN as well. So the ball comes out to the 20 for Shortridge. Their starting quarterback, Terrell Stallworth, injured in the first half of this game. They've been rocking with a mix of the Wildcat and backup quarterback Caleb Smith. And it's Smith who's in the shotgun here on 1st and 10. Smith takes to the air this time, looking downfield. He almost had his man, but the pass was dropped. And that's one that Lawan Smilton is going to want back because it looked like he had beaten his man in coverage.
He sure did. It was just a go route the whole time. It was a quick go route. And, again, the quarterback did a pretty good job of laying the ball out where it should be. It was just a quick one-step drop and throw the fade. And, again, he had got behind the defender, which is a cardinal sin. You never want anybody deeper than you as the safety or corner. Again, incomplete. No harm, no foul. 2nd down and 10.
Caden Frothingham in coverage that time, probably thankful that Smilton could not haul that one in. Just under a minute to go in this third quarter. Shortridge led this game 7-0 early on. It's been all Covenant since. And a Wildcat snap here for Covenant. Jakari Elliott trying to get to the edge, cuts it upfield, and he's out past the 30, still on his feet, wrestling people to the ground. Oh, my goodness. What a run by Jakari Elliott.
Yeah, that was Jerome Bettis-like. I mean, he is a very physical runner, and when he gets his shoulders turned upfield north and south, he is tough to bring down. His legs keep churning, and, again, it was a toss, and he was able to cut it back underneath the block, and, again, just kept going and going and going and going before he's finally brought down after a big run for Shortridge.
Shades of the Marshawn Lynch Beastquake run from many moons ago. That was unbelievable. He's got him out to the 36 now.
I think the referees are discussing something here.
There's a...
They stopped the clock at 32.
The clock was stopped at 32 seconds. I don't think it should have been stopped. I wonder if that's maybe what the referees are talking about.
Yeah, they're moving the chains. That's the end of the quarter.
And so with the clock continuing to wind, that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Shortridge with some positive momentum, and they need it. 12 minutes left. They're down by 20, needing to find the end zone here. You're watching IndianaSRN.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
It's a Start of the fourth quarter between Covenant Christian and Shortridge. IndianaSRN's coverage presented by Industrial and Electrical Sales of Indiana, delivering quality electrical products, expert service, and innovative solutions to contractors and industries across the Hoosier State. Also by LifeWise Academy, helping students build character and faith through Bible-based education. A little bit of confusion there with the clock at the end of the third quarter. It was a very physical run by Jakari Elliott. The clock was stopped inside 35 seconds when it shouldn't have been, and the referees decided to wind it to the end of the quarter. So 12 minutes left, Shortridge trailing by 20. The Blue Devils need a lot of points, and they need them quickly.
Well, everybody's not in midseason form yet, including the clock operator, so we're going to give them a break, and as the fourth quarter starts here, we'll see if Shortridge can continue that momentum.
It's a toss sweep for Shortridge, trying to get to the edge, and not doing so is Bryce Davis. Wasn't a whole lot developing. Great job defensively there by Covenant.
Covenant was great at stringing that out, and they just kept saying, you're not beating us around the corner, as each defender was there waiting on Shortridge. You know, Covenant has played pretty well defensively in this game, and their best defensive player has not played.
Jace Seibert was spotted in street clothes on the sideline, number 44. It looks like he's got a cast on his left forearm. Seibert, I should say, had 9 tackles last week. And
you know, he's chomping at the bit to get in a game like this, too.
He's thinking, man, I'd love to be out there and adding to those totals. But fortunately for Covenant, they haven't really needed him tonight.
Second 14.
Second down and long. Shortridge behind the sticks once again. And the movement up front, Russell Belgard, the guilty party there. It'll be second down and 19.
6th penalty for Shortridge, and again, they're going backwards, and that's not what they want to do, especially with this drive being down 20 points going in with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Second down and 19 now. Looks like Shortridge will stick with a Wildcat formation. Tyler Talius, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Caden Moore is in the slot. And on the far side, it's Bryce Davis. Josiah and Jakari Elliott both in the backfield, and looks like the far side official stopping things.
I think we have a clock issue that we're trying to get fixed here. They're going to go ahead and huddle up.
And we'll see what the results of this is. Now Shortridge breaking huddle once again. And you see the Covenant coaches there on the bottom of your screen still looking at the clock.
Yeah, there wasn't really a stoppage in play, so I thought the clock should still be running after the long string out by Covenant defensively.
I was going to say, it looked like for a moment they were telling somebody to back up. Drones apparently flying over the field. Sometimes in baseball you'll see it where somebody out beyond center field has their headlights on and the umpires have to get their attention and tell them to turn them off. In this case, I think it's drones out beyond the end zone. Drones flying around. I'll save that activity for about 10 minutes and 30 seconds of game time later.
In my 20 years of coaching, I never said there was a drone on the field. I can tell you that.
And the snap back to Elliott and a run to the right side for Jakari. And he falls forward to the 32-yard line. So that'll make this third down a little bit more palatable, but that's relative.
Yeah, I think they're content, too, to stick with this Wildcat because Elliott has the ability to break tackles.
And we've seen him with multiple physical runs, but there's a flag in the backfield, and that is bad news for Shortridge. It's a holding penalty against the Blue Devils that'll back them up 10 more yards.
And the holding penalties just really hamstring you offensively because you're 10 yards from the spot, and it just makes it really tough, especially when you're playing kind of left-handed, if you will, with their backup quarterback and trying to make something happen offensively with the Wildcat. That's their 7th penalty, and they've came at really crucial times.
Shortridge backing up closer and closer into the shadow of its own end zone. And this one, a lot of self-inflicted wounds for Shortridge, as it is now third down and 28. So Shortridge has to get near midfield to move the chains here. To have to imagine that most coaches probably don't have many plays drawn up for this down and distance.
Not with your backup quarterback in for sure. We'll see what they can draw up here. If you've got any kind of trick plays, this might be the opportunity to bring it out.
Well, you can't take it home with you. So, well, I guess you can, but you don't want to put it. You don't want to keep it in your pocket down 20. We'll see what Shortridge draws up here. And leaping forward is Elliott. The ball comes out. It's loose on the ground, and Covenant falls on it. And another turnover, the second of the game forced by Covenant. And the Warriors have a chance to put this one to bed.
Yeah, that's the second turnover. Again, the first one was a pick six by Liam Yarday, the talented defensive back for Covenant. And now looks like a fumble recovery with great field position. Again, you would think this is you're going to see a high dose of running the ball here, as looked like Tincher was in there, was able to slap it out of the hand of Elliott, and on the recovery, it looked like number 5, Holtznick.
If that is Levi Holtznick, he's had a good day on both sides of the ball with that touchdown reception earlier and now a fumble recovery. Mentioned the ball punched out by Reese Tincher. It seems like Tincher does a little bit of everything well. That's kind of been his MO through the first 2 weeks of his senior season.
He's a glue guy. I mean, you can tell he does a little bit of everything. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he blocks well, and on defense, he obviously flies to the football. So, been impressed with him.
And here he's lined up to take the snap. He runs to his right, and he is met in the backfield. An excellent tackle that time by Jakari Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott defensively has been very, very impressive. Even as, they're losing by 20 points here, he has not given up, and credit to him for keep playing hard.
And Jakari Elliott, having just coughed up that football, sure, he wasn't too pleased about that. You see the short-term memory, he's right back on it and gets the tackle for loss right there. So now Covenant behind the chains for the first time in a while. Second down and 12 here. And Luke Gillespie in under center, the sophomore quarterback. Tincher in the backfield. Hawk joining him back there. That means the ball's going Josiah Hawk's way. And this time he's wrapped up and brought down by Josiah Elliott.
Yeah, tackle for loss as he was able to split the offensive lineman and get a hand on Hawk just to trip him up right before the line of scrimmage.
And so Shortridge in a little bit of unfamiliar territory, Covenant, I should say. In a little bit of an unfamiliar situation here, being behind the chains on 3rd and long, something that hasn't happened to them since the first quarter, if at all, in this game.
I'm not going to worry about it while it's running. I'm pretty
Covenant probably will just keep it on the ground, trying to run the clock, as they did in the second quarter. Gillespie under center. And Turner, the motion man. A little bit of misdirection to the air goes Gillespie, looking end zone. The pass underthrown and incomplete. And with no laundry on the field, 4th and 13 coming up.
It was the right idea. Again, they're going to have to do this later in the season as the season gets going, especially in conference time when they play the likes of Ritter and such, Cecina. That was the right idea. A little misdirection off one of their favorite pass or run plays, and they were able to, find a player there in the back of the end zone. It was just out of reach.
And there is an injury on the field, so we will step aside for just a moment. 7:32 remaining. Covenant leading Shortridge 27-7.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just Wit HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
Way too, we come back.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
I'm Randy Stegemuller with Class 101. Students want to go to college, they want to find that dream school, and that's what we're here for.
The confidence your child feels is beyond what you imagine you're going to get out of it.
I love that I get to work with students from middle school all the way through high school.
Whatever it may be, I know she's there.
We're making sure that when the package is put.
And so after the injury stoppage, Covenant keeps the offense out there on 4th and 13. And we'll see what Luke Gillespie can do, the Covenant quarterback, back to pass, airing it out toward the end zone once again into traffic and almost intercepted.
Yeah, he was wise to not intercept that one as it was 4th down, so that's going to be a turnover on downs. And ball will come back to Shortridge, but there is a flag on the play, so we'll see what this is about. It very well could be pass interference. There was 2 receivers in the area.
And it looks like it is pass interference against Shortridge. Here's the call. And indeed it is. And you see on the far side, Tyler Talius slapping his helmet in frustration. And unfortunately for Shortridge, that has been one of the key storylines of this game. Ill-timed penalties, preventing the defense from getting off the field and giving Covenant extra life.
Yeah, they've done that with turnovers and penalties, and Covenant, to their credit, has took advantage of those. And again, they're knocking on the door again here, 1st and 10 with 7 minutes to go, and they could really put this out of reach as we've got maybe a stoppage in play here with a timeout, possibly.
Covenant still over near its sideline. And it looks like maybe head coach Luke Seifries just called timeout. And indeed he did. So Covenant takes their first of 3 timeouts, and we will take a moment to tell you that IndianaSRN's coverage of high school football is brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill, serving up great steaks, fresh favorites, and genuine hospitality at their 3 Indiana locations. That's Aspen Creek Grill. And just a reminder that you can stay connected with Indiana high school sports all season long by following IndianaSRN on Twitter X at IndianaSRN and on YouTube at IndianaSRN. Follow us for live webcasts, game updates, highlights, scores, and stories celebrating Indiana's student athletes and communities. If you want IndianaSRN to cover your next game, email coach@IndianaSRN.org. IndianaSRN is your home for Indiana high school sports. Got some good games going on around the state of Indiana tonight and every Friday night. Now through the end of fall and into the winter until the season culminates at Lucas Oil Stadium in late November. And Covenant Christian posed to pick up its first 2-0 start since its season ended with a 15-0 undefeated state championship campaign in Lucas Oil Stadium back in 2020. Just under 7.5 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter after the pass interference penalty. Covenant Christian keeping the offense out here. This drive stays alive. Under center, it's Gillespie. Some more misdirection. The handoff goes to Turner once again, dragging tacklers with him. He's into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown rush of the game. And Covenant Christian now leads Shortridge 33-7. And TJ Turner, after just 6 rushing yards a week ago, has found the end zone twice in this game, and more misdirection in the backfield for Covenant.
Same play from before that he scored on, that misdirection counter. And again, great blocking by Covenant as they were able to spring him free as he drug a Blue Devil into the end zone for the 2nd touchdown for Turner.
Turner taking a page out of Jakari Elliott's playbook, staying on his feet, refusing to hit the grass. And Liam Yarde knocks the extra point through, so Covenant Christian now leads Shortridge 34-7, I beg your pardon, here on IndianaSRN.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines.
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just Wit HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
And we welcome you back to Covenant Christian taking on Shortridge here on IndianaSRN. It has been all Covenant so far in this one as the fourth quarter continues to wind down. The latest scoring, TJ Turner's second touchdown rush of the game. Covenant Christian loves running those counter plays, and they have done so to great effect here this evening. Sam Pumphrey getting set to kick off for Covenant. Pumphrey standing at 6'4". See him kind of towering over everybody else there. And it's a knuckleball kick. That ball is headed out of bounds. And so Shortridge with the kickoff out of bounds. Their drive will start pretty far up the field.
35, I believe.
Or to the 35, I should say.
Unless they make them re-kick, which they might, and give a chance to return.
You see Covenant moving everybody back towards their own 40-yard line. So it looks like Shortridge will make Covenant re-kick. A mulligan here for Pumphrey, but also Shortridge with a chance to return this one. Perhaps.
Well, and you again, when you're sprinting down 60 yards on a kickoff team, that's a sprint, and you're going to make them do it again, but do it from a little farther back. So it's an opportunity to get good field position for Shortridge. So it's really a smart coaching move by Coach Qualls.
Ron Qualls, very experienced in his second year at the helm at Shortridge, but again, his coaching career began all the way back in 1980. He's had stops at Heritage Christian, Anderson University, and he's coached at both the high school and college levels all around the state. Perhaps a savvy move right there. So Pumphrey, try number 2, another knuckleball kick. This one headed toward the sidelines, fielded on a bounce by Bryce Davis. He's out to the 35 before he is gang tackled. And so it is a good return and good starting field position here for Shortridge.
No harm, no foul, as the kick out of bounds would have been at the 35, I believe, and they returned it to the 35. So just padded those return stats, if you will.
They don't ask how. They usually just ask how many. And
that is true.
It is Caleb Smith out there once again. We've seen Shortridge use some of the Wildcats, some of their backup quarterback Smith here in the second half. But no matter what, Covenant has had an answer for just about everything in this game.
Yeah, I think defensively they've played a really, really good ball game. Great opportunity for them to go 2-0 here with 7 minutes left.
So here is Smith in the shotgun, and the handoff goes straight ahead, and some room to run here. Out past the 50 is Caden Moore, out to about the 48-yard line, and that is one of the longest runs of the game for Shortridge.
Yeah, it's going to be a first down. Again, Caden Moore, talented on both sides of the ball offensively. This is his first big play we've seen from him offensively.
That one a gain of 17 yards for Moore.
Good blocking by the wide out and downfield for Shortridge.
And good to see Shortridge, despite obviously the lopsided scoreline, but still the effort on these plays, because it feels like blocking is kind of a want-to thing for wide receivers. Here is Moore once again, running left this time, tripped up at the 44-yard line, but still positive yardage on the ground for Caden Moore as Shortridge mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah, Caden Moore looks like he was able to turn the corner and get some positive yards. Looks like we've got a player down for Shortridge.
What's the clock?
And the injury for Shortridge brings us to a pause in the action with 6:14 remaining. And we will step aside here on IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
It was Caden Moore who stayed down on the field after that play for Shortridge.
Two-way player for them. It looked like, I don't want to speculate, but he looked like he was just cramping up because I believe he did get up off his own power and get to the sideline. Again, still not in that Friday night zone quite yet, and they're defensively, Caden Moore has been on the field a lot. Now he's came in to relieve some pressure off Elliott at the running back spot.
So 2nd down and 6. And the handoff goes inside this time, spinning forward past the sticks. An excellent run there by the Blue Devils. Gets them a fresh set of downs.
Might have been Elliott on the carry as he was able to get a first down and move the chains, and that's, I believe, their 5th first down of this game so far. Weichart checking back in, the big lineman.
So Shortridge with some positive plays here on offense. And after that touchdown drive early on in the first half, there hasn't really been a whole lot of that, but still good to see them moving the ball.
Well, you can tell they're well coached. They're not giving up. Coach Qualls has been around a long time, and he's a really good coach and understands that to be their best, they've got to get better every single play, every single quarter. And again, obviously with your backup quarterback, it's an opportunity to work on things and continue to get better.
Jakari Elliott in the backfield to the right of Caleb Smith, as Josiah Elliott now motions back there as well, and some movement up front. And a false start that will back up Shortridge by 5 yards.
It's the 9th penalty for Shortridge.
Definitely feels like that'll be a point of emphasis for Shortridge moving forward.
Yeah, not ideal as again, they've kind of, shot themselves in the foot, if you will, a couple times on drives with penalties and turnovers.
So the ball now back at the 42-yard line.
And that's what you get. You got a different quarterback in. The cadence is different. The linemen are, the quarterback's still trying to figure things out. The linemen are set for a long time.
And the handoff goes to Jakari Elliott once again. And Shortridge gets the penalty yardage back and then some more. It really seems like they're kind of finding their rhythm here on the ground in the late stages of this game.
Yeah, and I think Covenant is you don't want to accept the fact that this is in the bag for them. Obviously, it looks well, 34-7. But to play your best in the tournament time in a few weeks and in the conference time in a few weeks, you've got to be your best every single down and show on film that, hey, I'm giving an effort every single play. I'm not mailing this in, even though we're up 34-7, because injuries happen, and any play could be your last. So you don't want to loaf. You don't want anything like that to be on film for your coach to call you out on a Saturday morning.
And another handoff to Elliott running left, and again a big crease for him. He's out past the sticks. Another fresh set of downs for Shortridge. Jakari Elliott has had a phenomenal game really on both sides of the ball. The sophomore running back had 88 yards last week. And just by eyeballing it, he's up there once again here this week.
Well, and if you look at him, too, he just keeps his legs moving and turning. And even after contact, he had 7 or 8 yards there after contact. And that's what we've seen out of him. He's a very talented running back. And I think going forward, Coach Qualls he's going to have to be rested on defense because offensively he's going to be a player for him.
Josiah Elliott now to the left side of Smith, and Josiah gets the handoff, running straight ahead, rumbling forward inside the 5-yard line. And goal to go coming up here for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, really great run right up the gut for Elliott as he was almost into the end zone. But it is going to be a goal-to-goal situation, so we'll see if Covenant can rise to the occasion. It'd be a big momentum shift if they can stop them here on 4 downs.
The ball spotted back around the 7-yard line. Shortridge spreading the field. Smilton, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen, wearing number 22. And in the slot on the near side, it's Bryce Davis. Josiah and Jakari Elliott both in the backfield. Handoff goes to Josiah, running left, and he is into the end zone. Josiah Elliott had 3 rushing touchdowns a week ago. He's finally got one here tonight, and Shortridge inching closer with time winding down.
Yeah, it was really a strong run by Elliott. You watch him, he leans forward. He's got a really good lean as he gets through the line of scrimmage and then kind of untouched as he walked into the end zone for the touchdown. Again, great opportunity for them to build on some things here at the end of the game and really get ready for next week, as I think they're home against Indianapolis, Washington. Shortridge will be home next week for a good IPS battle with Indianapolis, Washington.
Tate Turman, the 3-sport athlete on for the extra point. He also plays soccer and baseball for Shortridge. So with football and soccer, a busy fall for him as the extra point attempt is blocked. So we've now had blocked PATs by both defenses in this game, and Covenant coming off the field fired up. But Shortridge getting a little bit back on the touchdown rush by Josiah Elliott. It's 34-13 on IndianaSRN. Welcome back to Covenant Christian leading Shortridge. It's 34-13 alongside Todd Sconce. I'm Nick Rodecap. And Todd, you were dead on with your keys to the game before we kicked off here this evening.
Yeah, we talked about Shortridge. If they wanted to win this game, they had to have a balanced attack. And obviously with their quarterback going out, that really hurt them to be able to accomplish that. And then no turnovers. You know, they don't want to give Covenant short fields, and they did do that. One was a pick six. And then win those hidden yardage battles. You know, they've had a punt blocked. And they, you know, it's not obviously, you usually when you get a punt blocked, it's not good. You usually lose those games. And then for Covenant, control the clock. Stay out of those 3rd and longs and have a great open field tackle. And I thought they did all 3 of those. So with just 3 minutes and change here left, we'll see if Shortridge lines up to kick this deep or a possible onside kick to maybe get another possession offensively for a team that might be without their quarterback going forward at least next week.
And football fans in central Indiana, at least those who are my age or a little older, have bad memories of surprise onside kicks. You think back to the Super Bowl the Colts lost to the Saints, Tracy Porter's pick 6, but of course the second half started with a surprise onside kick. This is a line drive kick, and falling on it around the 10 is Covenant, probably a wise move there to avoid any extracurriculars. That was actually the quarterback, Luke Gillespie, who handled that. So Covenant backed up a little bit, but still comfortably in control of this game with 3:04 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that you want to be able to do when you get in tournament time is be able to get 2 first downs when you're inside of your own, 15-10 with your backs against the wall, if you will. It kind of tells what kind of team you are, what kind of mentality you have as a student athlete. When your back's against the wall, can you perform? Yeah. And so we got an opportunity here for Covenant to do some things and really put this game out of reach as we've got 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Talk about tournament time. Covenant in sectional 37. They could face Park Tudor again. And timeout called by Covenant head coach Luke Seifries before the first play of this drive. He may have seen something that he didn't like.
Yeah, he wants to make sure, obviously, being down here in his own territory, have the right personnel in the game, as it looks like we are going to get switched up from personnel.
So Covenant, they're up 21. They're up 3 scores, but something to keep an eye on. They've burned 2 timeouts before you would like to use your timeouts in a closer game, say, in the second half.
Well, and those are conversations you're going to have on Saturday and try to get some of that cleaned up. Again, I think discretion is the better part of valor sometimes, is to, hey, let's talk this over. And what I like about Coach Seifries at this point is he's still coaching them up. I mean, even though they're well in control of this ball game, up 34-13 with 3:04 to play, you coach every rep. You still have a young team in some aspects, and again, you want to coach them every single rep that you get an opportunity to.
Luke Seifri's no stranger to success. He played his high school football at Roncalli, played at Marion University, where they won the 2012 national championship. He was also a javelin thrower there, and he was an assistant at Roncalli before coming over to Covenant. Won a couple state titles at the 4A level with Roncalli before taking over at Covenant prior to last season. And a run straight up the gut this time for Covenant as the Warriors look to continue to bleed this clock out, as on the carry that time was Carson Montague. Haven't called his name on the offensive side of the ball very much, but
he's a senior, and this is an opportunity for him to get a little playing time on the offensive side, as he is a defensive stalwart at the linebacker position. And again, you're trying to build depth. You're trying to find out who can play where. And obviously a senior, given opportunity, he does a lot of hitting on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm sure, he wants to get his name called on the offensive side of the ball once in a while, as he was able to do that on that first down run.
Montague, one of 13 seniors that Covenant celebrated before tonight's game. And on second down, a toss to the near side and some room to run, but a nice tackle made going towards the sideline. And Devin Wilson was in there on the hit, and Josiah Hawk, that might have been his shortest run of this game. He has had such a phenomenal evening, but that time Wilson got him on the edge.
I think that might be his last carry of the night, as he's now checked out. And they've got some subs starting to filter in for Covenant with just a minute 40 left, 3rd down and 8.
Covenant still trying to rotate some personnel in there.
And
Levi Holtzneck check in.
Maybe look for a timeout here.
It looks like that is where we're going. That's the direction we're headed, and looks like Covenant has called its final timeout. So we will take a timeout with 96 seconds to go. Covenant leading 34-13.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw.
Boy, what a stick, huh?
Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
.36 to go here on IndianaSRN. Covenant leads Shortridge 34-13. Covenant just used its final timeout to sort out some personnel decisions. Now Luke Gillespie back under center. Covenant with some substitutes into the game as Micah Puckett gets a carry and makes good use of it. His teammates fired up for him on the sideline as he gets across the 35-yard line.
Big run by Puckett. It was just a toss to the wide side of the field, and he was able to turn the corner and get up for a big run, as I'm sure he's a scout team player Monday through Thursday and has to play against this defense of Covenant, which has given up under 2 scores both games. So big run by him and a good opportunity for him to see some varsity action on a Friday night.
Micah Puckett, a freshman, getting his first varsity action indeed, and well, might not be the last if that carry is any indication. Under a minute to go now, as Gillespie is content to just kneel this one out, and Covenant Christian starting the season 2-0 for the first time since they went undefeated and won the state title back in 2020. An excellent start, all things considered, especially on the defensive side of the ball for the Warriors through 2 weeks this season.
Yeah, they look really strong defensively and ability to – I think they're playing good complementary football, a good running game, a solid passing game with no turnovers to speak of, and an ability to stay away from the penalties. So this Covenant team is definitely improving week to week, which is the sign of kids that want to learn, want to get better, and again, a good coaching job by the coaching staff to go 2-0 here for the first time since 2020. So kudos to Covenant Christian. Next week they take on Purdue Poly, so it'll be another challenge for them, I believe, at home. But again, going 2-0 is how you want to start out the season. Kudos to Covenant Christian.
And conference play coming up in just a couple of weeks. One guy who is posed to be a difference maker is tonight's Indy Star Player of the Game, Liam Yarday. And Yarday had that pick six in the third quarter that really kick-started Covenant's second half surge. It was 14-7 at the break. Yarday took that one right out of the hands of Caden Moore and sauntered all the way back to the house, made it 21-7, and the final score a little bit more lopsided than that. But Yarday also 4 of 5 on extra points. Tonight, 5 of 6 on the season. He did a little bit of everything, and that's kind of the Covenant Christian mantra through 2 weeks, is everybody does a little bit of everything, and they've all done it really well. Yarday embodying that here tonight.
Yeah, I could say, the old Bill Belichick, do your job. And again, that shows a very well-coached team of do your job. And again, Covenant moving to 2-0 on the season. Shortridge will fall 1-1. Hopefully, the young man at quarterback for Shortridge will be back in the action soon. Stallworth, he's a very talented player, and I know they'll try to get him back as soon as they can. But again, great win for Covenant as they move to 2-0 on the season.
Want to thank our camera operator, Daniel Thacker, our director, Chuck Levine, my color analyst, Todd Sconce. I'm Nick Rodecap. You've been watching this presentation of Indiana High School football on Indiana SRN.